Sup fellas, welcome back to the History Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning Journey, and if you're familiar with the series already, welcome to Anniversary 2, you know what's happening already. But in case you're not, let me just briefly explain what the Anniversary episode is. So this is where I normally would introduce the set, but since we're now just playing cards from the past 50 episodes, instead it's just gonna be me explaining you what we're doing. So basically, me and Jeexx have both picked, last time was 3, this time is 4 of our favorite, or whatever arbitrary reason we had for picking those decks. 4 decks from this time period. And instead of adhering to the usual deck building rules, where obviously from the set, blah blah blah, we don't have a set for this. This is now our opportunity to just go all out and put whatever we feel like in the deck. Now I say whatever, but what I actually mean is cards from that were out at this point already, and the decks or the deck archetypes need to be from this time period as well, or at least have like large theming around the time period. This is essentially a chance for us to celebrate the past 50 episodes and properly be able to see what could a full power deck of one of our favorite archetypes from this time period look like and play like. And additionally, like last time when we allowed some banned cards, this time we once again allowed some banned cards, and we decided on this. This is, okay, bear with me, this is gonna be the wonkiest way to show it ever. You get 6 banned cards total throughout your decks. So in your 4 decks, you can have 6 banned cards total, and this is Gateway of the 6 is here to remind me that it's 6, and it's from Ronin Toading to Utopic Zexal is the pool. So the pool starts with Ronin Toading. Everything here until Utopic Zexal is fair game, and you get to pick 6. You can go, I can go Brilliant Fusion and Norden in 3 of my 4 decks, and that'll be my 6 banned cards. Like 3 of this both in 3 of my decks, and that's it. Or I can pick 6 different ones. The only limitations here, as you know, Minutes Emptiness we have decided to ban entirely. Shockmaster we have decided to ban entirely. And Soul Charge you're allowed to play. Normally it's banned because Soul is such a frequent name or word that comes up in names, so it will come up a lot. But here we decided it's allowed, but you get a single copy. So that's the limitations here, but other than that, like, you can pick 6 from these, and that's what we're doing. So we're gonna play 4 to 7 matches, depends on how they go. We basically play the first 4 games. We both play a different deck each time. So at the very least, even if it's for sweep, we get to see each deck at least attempt to do something. I would have said like do something, but then I realized one of the decks that I'm playing, and I'm like, it's a 50-50 if it does anything. So at least attempt to do something, and then if after those 4 games one of us still has a deck that still have decks that haven't won, we can play those in whichever order we feel like until one of us wins with all 4 decks. So every deck at least gets a chance to shine. So I think it's a pretty cool way to do it, and it's a way for us, like I said, to celebrate these past 50 episodes. But that is the gist of it. We might explain more in the deck breakdowns, but thank you so very much for the support with the series. Like, thank you for watching the series, because obviously, like, it makes it more meaningful, and hopefully you enjoy the episode. So thank you so very much for your support, and I will see you in the deck building sections next. Yu-Gi-Oh! An incredibly complex card game with tens of thousands of cards. However, what if each set was separated from the rest of the massive card pool and your choices when building a deck were extremely limited? In this series, in order to learn Yu-Gi-Oh! From the ground up, I will be embarking on an adventure through the history of the card game with Jeexx. In each episode, we will have access to all the cards in a select product, and using only the cards in that product, both of us will build a deck before playing a best of 3 match to determine the winner of the episode. We will move in a chronological order in the series, and with each new episode we will forget the cards of the past in order to experience something brand new. We hope you enjoyed this adventure through Yu-Gi-Oh! And its evolution with us. Welcome to the historic Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning journey.
Okay, it is the second anniversary of Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning Journey. It's kind of wild, and we've got this far so far. And like we're looking at cards now that I played with back in like 2015, 2016, and it's crazy to me. Like this is around the time when Raigeki got unbanned after being banned for like 10, 12 years. It's absolutely bonkers that we've reached this point. Like we're not that far removed in timeline right now from when Dark Hole was at like 1 or even banned. And Raigeki is now unbanned. It felt so crazy at the time. And then we have cards like fucking Soul Charge running around. We have cards like Brilliant Fusion coming out now. A new Solemn for the first time since like 8 years came out. It was like really cool. A really cool time to be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! At this time. Unfortunately, the game itself wasn't as fun like to be playing because of the way that the game had formed at the time. But we'll talk about that some other time. But yeah, I'm playing a 60 card control pile for my first deck. It has a mishmash of different archetypes. More specifically, has some Lightsworn cards. It has some Performage cards. It has some Shadow cards. And the main control like theme of it is to play like Construct, play Winda, play the Shadow Fusions using like Super Polymerization, use Seraphinite to establish a board while also going into stuff like Rafflesia or even maybe Levier using Terror Top. And considering that I'm most likely going to be banishing stuff to begin with, I think there was something in here that was supposed to be banishing stuff. I might be misremembering, but yeah, the idea would be to essentially try to control the board state using cards like Fiendish Chain, Fog Blade, Solemns, Torrential, Trapple Nightmare, and Super Polymerization. And obviously, as I mentioned, the Shadow Fusions and all the Synchros that I have in here. But yeah, we have Felis, which is in here because she summons herself when she gets dumped to the graveyard, and has the effect of if you can attribute her to destroy a card on the field. Monster on the field, sorry, monster on the field. And middle 3, it's pretty good. Ghost Ogre, because Ghost Ogre is just generally like, if you're not playing 3 of Ghost Ogre in this anniversary episode in at least 2 of your decks, I think that's bad. Career Bandit, because this thing I think like ties the whole theme together. Career Bandit has the effect of during the end phase, if this card is normal summon this turn, you contribute this card. Excavate the top 5 cards of your deck and add 1 excavated spell trap card to your hand. Also send the remaining cards to the graveyard. So this triggers all Shadows. This triggers Felis. This triggers Wolf. And I think like it can fetch me Soul Charge, Super Poly, Brilliant Fusion, Shadow Fusion, Raigeki, anything. I think this card will like pretty much make the whole deck function. Then we have Mathematician, which is just a Foolish Burial on legs. Now you could be saying why am I not playing multiple copies of Foolish Burial instead? And I think it's just that Mathematician allows me to summon it out on board, right? And allows me to immediately dump a card, which can be pretty much anything that I have in my deck. It's not gonna go into a play because I can't dump Raiden and summon Raiden, but it's still gonna be like I dump Mathematician and I summon that Mathematician, I dump Falco, and now Falco comes on board. Now I have a line for a 7 or even an 8 maybe next turn. And if he dies, I also get I get a draw out of it. And if my opponent kills it with Ghost Ogre, that's still not too bad. I get to react to what he actually did. Then I can decide if I want to summon like Felis or Wolf. So I think overall, Foolish Burial, while being a more reliable option, I think Mathematician enables me to have more lines against what my opponent might be playing against me. And also we have Trick Clown in here, obviously, which like I can summon Mathematician, and if my opponent is like, well, I'm just gonna fucking Ghost Ogre you, and then I just dump Mathematician. Mathematician also can come, not Mathematician. Trick Clown can come out, Wolf can come out, and Felis can come out. It's good. I think this is good. I think like I would rather even play 2 copies is probably better than 3, but yeah. Trick Clown summons itself when it's into the graveyard, or any Performage when it's into the graveyard. This is like another card in this deck that I think is a cornerstone, sorry, because it enables me to go into like Synchro 8s and even in some cases Synchronize, like with Career Bandit or like Ghost Ogre and Raikou and whatnot. It can work. It can do a lot of things, I think. Raiden, again, mills 4. 1 turn, it's good. It's a tuner. It's really good for that. Like this thing pretty much enables all of my synchros as is. Raikou, obvious, because like Raikou mills 3 and shoots a card. I think if I have to set Raikou, it's kind of bad, but at the same time, it's still destroy 1 mill 3, which can hit me a lot of good cards. Beast, when it's sent to the graveyard, draw a card. Dragon, when it's sent to the graveyard, target a spell trap, destroy it. Falco, when it's sent to the graveyard, you can spell something from the graveyard in face down defense position. Hedgehog, when it's into the graveyard, add a shadow monster from your deck to your hand. Hound, if this is into the graveyard, you can target a monster on the field, change its battle position. Squamata, if this card is into the graveyard, you can send another shadow card from your deck to your graveyard. Basically, I'm not reading the flip effects because for the most of these, it's not relevant. Like Falco, it's relevant because it's a spell summon a shadow monster in face-down defense position. And Squamata, it's relevant because of the fact that it pops a monster on the field. And maybe for even Hedgehog, where it like adds a spell trap to my hand. But I don't think that's going to be happening. I'm not going to be setting these cards. Also, Beast is here specifically so I can dump it with like Mathematician or Foolish Burial again, like just to draw cards. I hope I never have to draw into this card. Then we have Terratop, because Terratop spell summons itself. If you control no monsters, add attack on the board, you summon the attack on the board, you overlay, you make Levier, or you spell summon attack on the board, and then you normal summon like Ghost Ogre, you now make a Trish. It's good. Like this line can be really good. It's really potent. It has access to essentially all of these synchros, and I think that warrants playing it. Myrmilio on a normal summon and lets me add my trap hole to hand, which is not that great, you could say. Like it's one trap hole, right? It's not gonna do that much, but at the same time, Myrmilio itself is immune to trap hole effect, so it can come out under a bottomless trap hole. And then you can go from that into, for example, Rafflesia, which then makes Rafflesia unaffected by trap effects, and then you can just have Rafflesia there and use Rafflesia to maybe dump cards. Obviously, I only have one trap hole in here. Well, actually, I have two. I forgot I have bottomless here. I was only looking at this too. But yeah, like you can do a lot of things with this, I think. And also, Myrmilio allows me to go into pretty much everything again. Like it's just a level 4. It's easy to summon. It searches me a card, it thins the deck out a little, and on top of that, if it's special summon using like Soul Charge, I get to pop a spell trap, which I think is kind of big. That is actually kind of relevant. Wolf dumps it, when you dump it from the deck, you spell summon it, Garnet, and then we have Brilliant Fusion, one of the 2 banned cards that I have in the deck. When this card is activated, fusion summon 1 Gemini monster from your extra deck using few machine materials from your deck as material, but it changes its attack to 0. And if this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. This card is one of the best fusion spells ever printed in the entire game, because it gives you access to Seraphim Knight, which is the effect of during the main phase, or during your main phase, you can normal summon or set 1 monster in addition to your normal summon, which is an effect you can activate, thus you can just expend this for your very first normal summon, and then your opponent, if they try to do anything with that, you still have a regular summon. It's versatile, it's really powerful, it's one of the strongest like bonus effects that you can get. And on top of that, when you use Brilliant Fusion, you're always going to be using Trick Clown as material, or you can be even using stuff like Fearless for it, but more likely than not, you're going to be using Trick Clown. You dump Trick Clown, Trick Clown deals 1,000 damage, you summon it, and then now you have a line to like a rank 4 with 3 materials, with just 1 summon essentially. With just 1 spell essentially. Like you can then from there go into normal summon like normal summon Raiden, normal summon Squamata, and then done bada bim bada boom. There's that. Yeah. I think overall Brilliant Fusion being banned is good, and it's like going to be in every single deck, so I'm just going to talk about it right now in more detail. But yeah, this is broken. I'll Shadow Fusion, quick play Shadow Fusion, use materials to fusion summon a Shadow monster from your extra deck. Foolish Burial, Harpies, Feather Duster, Raigeki, Shadow Fusion, fusion summon 1 Shadow monster using materials from either your... Fusion summon 1 Shadow monster from your extra deck using fusion materials from your hand or field, or if your opponent controls cards from the summon from the extra deck, you can use cards from the deck as well. Soul Charge, I don't need to explain it. Super Polymerization, fusion summon every single Shadow, basically. Fiendish Chain, Fog Blade, we talked about both of those recently. Shadow Core, it allows itself to be used as a substitute for attributes. Solemn Judgment, Solemn Strike. Solemn Strike is a new Solemn card that we've seen pop up recently. It allows you to negate a monster spell summon or a monster effect. Essentially negates out Ghost Ogre, for example, or summons of cards that you don't want to hit the board. Inherent Summoning. And then Solemn Warning negates a summoning or an inherent form of summoning or a non-inherent form of summoning by paying 2,000. Torrential, Bottomless, Traptic Nightmare. Same as usual. Construct, dump a Shadow, and when it fights a monster that is special summoned, it just kills it. Krista. While you have a Shadow card in your hand and your opponent will special summon a monster, so you can negate that summon, and if you do, destroy that mouse, then send 1 Shadow card from your hand to the graveyard. Then Sheki Naga. When a special summoned monster activates its effects, if you have a Shadow card in your hand, or you don't even have a Shadow card in your hand, Oh, that's no, it is. Yeah. Effect while you have a shadow card in your hand. There we go. And then you get the activation, send shadow card from your deck, from your hand to the graveyard. It's the same effect. And then all of the fusions also have the effect of adding a shadow spell trap to your hand. Winda prevents spell summoning twice per turn. If it dies, add a shadow spell trap to your hand. Seraphina gives you an extra normal Black Rose Dragon, lets you pop the field. Nothing is just a level 6 synchro that gives you burn and reduces your opponent's monster's attack by 800. The normal summon effect would be nice, is a bonus, but it doesn't have that. But I think this card overall is just worth playing because it's a decent generic synchro which gives you an effect without having a cost. It's not bad. There's also obviously Stardust Charge Warrior, which you could argue that, well, you should probably be playing this instead. But I see the fact that this thing is essentially a 3.2 thousand beat stick as being kind of a big thing. Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon negates monster effects. Omega, we've seen Omega before. Charge Warrior draws you a card, level 6 generic synchro. Trish, Levier, Utopia, and then the big fucking guys here finally. Number S39, Utopia the Lightning. You can also summon. You can also explicitly summon this card by using a rank 4 Utopia monster you control as material. So you can use Utopia as material for this. It cannot be used as XYZ summon as material for an XYZ summon. If this card battles your opponent, cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. Once per chain during damage calculation. While this card has a Utopia XYZ material, XYZ monster as a material. Quick effect: you can attach 2 materials from this card, and this card's attack becomes 5,000 during damage calculation only. This thing is a big deal. This thing, like, we have Ultimate Falcon in this, and any deck that can cheat out Ultimate Falcon will most definitely try to cheat out Ultimate Falcon. So I'm legitimately terrified of having to deal with it. So I put, I double check the Lightning is available, and I put Lightning in. Rafflesia, I think this is the first time that we're probably going to be seeing Rafflesia. Unfixable tap effects as long as it has material. Trap-Tricks monsters you control, except Trap-Tricks Rafflesia, cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Your opponent cannot target Trap-Tricks Rafflesia. Trap-Tricks monsters you control, except Trap-Tricks Rafflesia, with card effects. And once per turn, quick effect, you can detach 1 material from this card and send a whole normal trap that meets its activation conditions from your deck to the graveyard. This effect becomes that trap's effect when that card is activated. There we go. This deck is the jankiest one that I made outright. Like, it's just a pile of cards that I felt like, oh, this could function. You could definitely play this. I can definitely make this work. It's not going to be good, but it's definitely going to function. Yeah, in a best of one, especially if I happen to draw the right hand, it's just a win, essentially. But yeah, that about does it. That's a pretty long breakdown. I think the rest of them will be a lot faster because I spent a lot of time talking about Brilliant Fusion. But yeah, good luck with the games.
And then finally, you already knew this was coming if you watched last week. So I got very mad about bricking like nobody has ever bricked before with the Emperor of Darkness. And we're here with essentially the exact same deck. We had like Ryza and Mobius and Caius last time. Those have changed, like the Ryza and Mobius have changed to 3 Kuras the Light Monarch, who on normal or special summon, which is important for either. You can target up to 2 cards on the field, destroy those targets, and if you do, each player can draw 1 for each of the cards they control that were destroyed by the effect, and this card cannot attack the turn it is normal or special summoned. Then they would just have Thestalos here to do some burn damage and be an additional hand ripping effect, and a better thing to go for first with something like Erebus also spinning stuff. The rest of the changes were that we took away the card that lets us tribute summon on our opponent's turn and added consistency in 3 Maxi as our final banned card, as well as 3 Rhoda, because opening Idea with essentially any Monarch, but obviously preferably like Erebus or either, depending on the situation, is like just the best thing we can do. The rest of these cards I all explained literally last week, so I'm not going to go over their effects again. Thestalos is just a burn, and then we have 3 Erebus that spins cards from our opponent's hand to back to the deck, and then gets us Monarch back from our grave when it's in the grave, because it's the Underworld Monarch, and then either gets us stuff from gets us a special summon on our opponent's turn with descending from the heavens on our opponent's turn and giving us disruption, or just during our turn just gives us pops. But Kuras is essentially what just plays with either. We have a single Caius because still banishing stuff is very good. Idea is the card that we always want to see. This just gets us 2 tributes and also gets us a Banish Monarch spell trap back to our hand, usually Pantheism, which is obviously the best one. Ados is there to help us get the extra tributes out, and also can give us extra materials for other tribute summons, usually for like single tributes on later turns. Maxi is just there to draw small cards, because this is the brickiest deck in the history of anything, so we want to be drawing those cards. Bunch of Monarchs here just to protect our stuff from mostly getting banished, because it's really annoying if our stuff gets targeted and banished. Domain, we don't have an extra deck, so we don't want our opponent to additionally use the extra deck. Pantheism here to draw cards and add stuff from our deck to our hand, one of the best cards in the entire archetype. Monarch Storyphone to tribute our opponent's stuff instead of using our own. Return of the Monarchs to keep a supply of Monarchs in our hand when we tribute summon, and Tenacity of the Monarchs to get more spell traps in our hand when we get those Monarchs. And then 3 Rhoda, all 3 different arts, simply to add Edea to our hand. And finally Prime Monarch, which can get us some draws or can just serve as an additional tribute if need be. And it's just a really easy thing to banish from our grave for our banish stuff effects. And that, in 32 minutes, are the 4 decks that I'm playing today. I would say something witty here, but my voice is absolutely chalked, so I'm not going to do that. And instead, I will just say thank you so very much for bearing with me for this doozy of a deck breakdown. Hopefully you enjoyed the deck breakdowns. Hopefully you have enjoyed these 100 episodes. That's a crazy thing to say with us. And hopefully we will see you in the future as well. We have some very exciting things coming in the future. So look forward to that. Thank you for watching the deck breakdowns, and I will see you in the dueling zone next. Ladies, fellas men, children of all ages, welcome everybody to the 100th episode of the Historic Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning Journey. Also the 2nd anniversary, and I would have had a cake with 2 candles on it here with me, but unfortunately there's currently a strike going on, so I couldn't make the bid come through. So just imagine I have a small cake here and there are 2 candles on it. Editor, put it in. Editor probably will not put it in, but you can just use your imagination. But yeah, the big 100 will hit triple digits. I'll be honest, I never thought that we would make it here. Jeexx, how are you feeling about the big 100 and the 2nd anniversary? And are you dressed for the occasion?
So I have my turquoise, like, long-sleeved undershirt on. I have beige sweatpants on, and I got some nifty socks.
Awesome.
I am very much dressed for the occasion of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Yes.
That sounds like what the kids would call drip.
Hell, but as for the episode 100, I'm legitimately impressed that we managed to keep this going for 2 years at this point.
Yes,
like,
sir.
Despite my best efforts at getting tilted giga often, we've still managed to come here every week and do this for 2 years in a row. That's impressive. That's dedication.
Yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't say often. I would say it's a very rare comedy. It happens sometimes, but that's how it goes with everything. Sometimes stuff like gets frustrating, especially when it comes to playing children's card games. And I guess something else to also mention before we get started. So I alluded to some announcements. Like I said that a couple of them would be like very small and minute, and I've talked about them like extensively at this point, I feel like, in other situations as well. So just simple, I will, after this episode, I will change the naming convention to have the set first and the name of the series, because I feel like it just is better for clarity. And also the set breakdowns will be essentially abolished in the way how they are currently, and it will be replaced with just a edited segment of this is the set, this is when it released, these are the archetypes that were introduced, these are the archetypes that got support, and these are the highlight cards, and that's going to be it. Because I feel like currently it just serves zero purpose, and I end up usually talking about the same cards we would talk in the deck building section anyway, in the same way that we would talk there anyway. So, sorry?
You serve zero purpose.
Essentially. You should get rid of this segment now. Deal? Okay, well, we're not going to recite the entire low tier god speech, but yeah. There's also another thing that we will briefly mention or slash talk about a little bit at the end of all of these games, so look forward to that. But now, without further ado, today's agenda, in case you haven't heard yet and you're only now joining us, which is welcome, but also interesting spot.
Good spot.
Both of us have brought 4 decks today. They are decks that now had much looser deck building restrictions. No, like you need these legacy thingies. The only restriction was that you had access to 6 cards total, 6 different cards, or you could do duplicates, but 6 banned cards throughout your 4 decks, which means that, for example, if you wanted to do I guess something very out of the ordinary, Northern and Brilliant Fusion. Who would do that? Like
Nobody ever.
You could do 3 out of 4 decks. You could just put 3 copies of each of those in, and that would be it. Or you could do like 2 and 2, and then you could have I don't know, Maxi in one of your decks, and then Soul Charge in one, and that's 6. Like, in a way, you probably understand how I mean that. The only limitations there were Shockmaster, banned, whatever the Ritualist weird card that came out with Necros, that is...
It didn't come out with Necros, it was just abuse with Necros.
Yeah, I mean, it also came out in the same set, which is funny.
It's actually out of the whole, like, the range of banned cards anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, okay.
It came out before Ronin Totem.
Okay, then good. And then, so Shockmaster and Vanity's Emptiness, we just agreed to not play at all. And then the only stipulation for the remaining cards was Soul Charge. If you elect to run it, you are only allowed to include 1 copy instead of the 3 that you can include with any other of the banned cards.
Which is still gonna be very explosive if it does happen to hit the board, so
yeah,
I don't think that's a limitation, really.
It's insane to think about Soul Charge being legal for what, like 4 or 5 years. It was legal when I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh. It was still legal, and then it got shortly banned, like I want to say in like 2018. So
it's like the same reason why I'm playing like a Brilliant Fusion and Instant Fusion in every single deck. Like you could argue that you would have played Soul Charge alongside all of those as well. Like, imagine your deck consists of 3 Brilliant Fusion, 3 Instant Fusion, and 1 Soul Charge, and you just have, like, an insane toolbox of broken power spells that allow you to extend into, without normal summoning ever, into stuff like Ptolemaeus, into Nova, into Infinity.
Which, like, for the time, like, without using a normal summon, like, being able to summon out multiple things from the extra deck was still really damn good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, even now.
I mean, yeah, even now it's still obviously very good, but still, it's, I guess, become more of the norm.
And also, important note, out of all of those cards, you also get an extra normal summon. So.
Oh yeah, because Seraphinite, and then, I mean, Northern essentially also draws you extra stuff. But yeah, so 4 decks both, and essentially we will be the first 4 games we will be playing like each unique decks, and then after that, whichever deck you haven't yet won with, you will be playing those in whichever order you prefer, and then the episode ends and the victor is crowned when one of us wins with all 4 of our decks. With all that being said though, I tell you the best of luck, and I see that we are immediately facing a whole 60 cards, and
so this deck is called 60 card control. It has 60 cards, and I control the board.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what this deck is called, but I think the actions which I take during my first turn will tell you everything you need to know, and that is I will pass.
Okay, stand by main. I'm gonna normal summon Mathematician. I'm gonna activate the effect of Mathematician. Would you like to chain a Ghost Ogre?
You're good.
I am going to send graveyard a card from my deck, if you can believe it. Gonna double check what I have in my extra, because I'm kinda... Oh wait. I shall send to my graveyard.
Yeah, let me also check my extra deck.
Yeah. That's perfectly fine. Perfectly okay. I will send to the graveyard a Shadow Falco! Woohoo! Which has the effect of when it gets sent to the graveyard, I get summoned in special in defense, in face down defense. Wahoo!
Yep.
And then I shall Set. 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 Go.
All right. You didn't want to
Oh,
swing.
if that's okay, I can swing.
Yeah, sure.
If you don't, yeah. I
Um,
forgot.
go.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to do some shadow fusioning. And I would like to send to the graveyard from my hand a Fearless Lightsworn Archer, and from my board, Shadow Falco, to special summon out a Shadow Construct. And then
Yes,
I would
sir.
like to activate the effect of Construct, and then I would like to change the effect of Falco. Falco.
When you're summoning your construct, I would here like to max C on the
Oh,
Shadow
when you
Fusion.
activate Shadow Fusion? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So I would like to draw for...
No.
Okay, that's fine.
No, that is not acceptable.
Yep.
And then, summon Falco in defense, and then send a shadow card to the graveyard. In this case, I shall send a Squamata. And when I send Squamata, I would like to use the effect of Squamata to send another shadow card. Is this okay?
Yep. Nothing here.
Okay.
If I were the Ghost Ogre, I think I would have done it on a construct.
Yeah, that is very much true. Let's see. I will send to the graveyard a Shadow Beast to draw one card.
Seems pretty
I'm
good.
kind of impressed that I managed to draw this bad, but you know.
Tell me about it when I'm past 2 turns in a row.
Yeah. It's impressive, to say the least. Swing.
Yep.
Swing.
Gorse.
And then I would like to activate from my field a Super Polymerization.
Mm-hmm.
Discarding from my hand a Felis, the Lightsworn Archer, to fuse off Shadow Falco and Mathematician to summon out El Shadow Sheknaga.
Yep.
And swing for 2.6.
Yep. Nothing I can do about that.
Okay. I had Solemn Judgment set.
Yep. I mean...
Yep.
That sure was a game.
What were you playing? Oh, keep it a secret, actually. Yeah, keep it a secret.
You can probably figure out by me not having an extra deck and not playing any cards for 2 turns.
I wasn't paying
So,
attention.
yeah.
I mean, you were taking your extra deck. I was like, oh, yeah, go for it, buddy, go for it.
We were talking earlier about, not earlier today, but earlier, how like Jeexx was like, all right, I'm gonna showcase the degeneracy of this time frame. I'm like, oh yeah, I brought 3 of my favorite decks of the time period, and then I wanted to give Monarchs a shot because I literally drew as bad as you could draw. I guess we can go like the loser picks.
Yeah, I'll pick art as per usual.
I'll go paper again. So, the Monarch deck played so poorly just because I drew so insanely bad last time. I was like, I'll give it another shot because like this is not a good representation. Like it is the brick deck, but still, like you couldn't have drawn worse. And then I just draw a dead hand again, even with the consistency boosts that we had access to now, which is
it's kind of
poetic, I guess.
Indicative, yeah.
Yeah, that's Monarch.
Okay. So, first things first, I'm going to pull this up. Overlay, no, text labels. There we go. And we open this, and that is a +1 to the hero counter, fellas. Once the motherfucking again, we're playing heroes. More specifically, we're only playing like 4 hero cards. Well, technically more than that, because we have more cards in the extra deck, and we have a lot of hero support cards. But regardless. We have a Bubble Man and Shadow Mist. Shadow Mist is the effect of adding a quick play change quick play spell card from your deck to your hand on special summon. That's why we're playing 3 copies of Hero Lives in here, so that we can use Shadow Mist to get out a Mask Change. So that's like the whole core concept of the deck. Playing Cosmos with means of getting access to Koga, Acid, Anki, and Dark Law. Dark Law being like probably the one that you will most likely go into if you want to just floodgate your opponent, because you're gonna be playing a big body monster like Dark Destroyer, or you're even gonna go out of your way to make Dark Law, and then you're gonna have your Tin Can or Straw Man or whatever the fuck on the board, and then you're just gonna be able to threaten that, like tagging that thing out for a Dark Destroyer or Forerunner or Slip Rider and so on and so forth. I think this is gonna be kind of an interesting deck to play. But yeah, Shadow Mist, we have Dark Destroyer in here, 3 copies. Obviously, this is the best Cosmo card at this moment, alongside Tin Can. 1 copy of Farm Girl, 1 copy of Forerunner, 3 copies of Slip Rider, because Slip Rider is like the second best, I would argue, because of the fact that Spell Trap Destruction can be really good, and it's really potent with cards like Cosmo Town being a part of the archetype itself. Then we have Strawman, which allows you to summon a banished Cosmo monster and destroy it in the end phase, which is really big because the machines banish themselves on their summoning effect resolution. And then Tin Can, obviously, you search 3 cards from your deck and reveal them, and then your opponent picks one of them at random, and then you add it to your hand. That's it. That's like the card that makes this whole deck work. We have Wicked Witch, we have Trick Clown again, we have Garnet again. I talked about Hero Lives already. Brilliant Fusion, obviously we have Trick Clown in here and Garnet in here for Brilliant Fusion. I'm playing 2 copies of Brilliant Fusion and only 1 Garnet because of the fact that I don't care if I get to activate the second copy of Brilliant Fusion as long as I get to draw into my Brilliant Fusion. That's like the main idea. Like I'm playing 2 copies because I can't play 3 copies because I would go over limit for my banned cards. But yeah, then we have Italy, 3 copies because every single psychic is worth going into, and we have Form Change, 1 copy of that because I remember the last time I played this deck I lost that set because I forgot I took out my Form Change. Cosmo Town, which is also, like, again, this is pretty big, this is huge. It allows you to add a banished Cosmo to your hand, taking damage equal to its level times 100. And once per turn, you can reshuffle your hand, essentially, from Cosmo cards, or Cosmo monsters, and drawing the same number of cards as you shuffle back into the deck. And then if you destroy this card, you get to add a Cosmo card from your deck to your hand. Originally, I had Stratos in here as a idea of maybe going a Hero Lives into a Hero Lives, summon Stratos, add Stratos, play Cosmo Town, play Stratos, pop the Cosmo Town, then play Brilliant Fusion, summon Trick Clown, summon use that to make a make a rank 4, and then eventually go from that to summoning Tin Can, use Tin Can effect in end phase, make get out Dark Destroyer next turn. And that was one of those lines that I ended up abandoning because I felt like Stratos was too bricky in comparison to what I was originally intending to do with this deck. 1 copy of Mask Change because I don't really want to be drawing into it since I don't have that many elemental heroes in this deck, but I want to be able to search for it if I feel like I want to have access to that elemental hero or Mask Hero card without having to expend 3 cards for it. Mask Change 2, this is going to be like the main card for the hero package, essentially. The idea being that you can use Mask Change 2 on Farm Girl, you can use it on Slip Rider, you can use it on Strawman, Tin Can, Wicked Witch, Trick Clown, Garnet, and so on and so forth. We removed Diane from here, but Garnet used to be a valid target for it. Essentially making it so that any of these can turn into a Koga and try to push for game even. And control the board a bit. By having the ability to reduce the attack of a monster and swinging over that monster with the attack bonuses that it itself has. Originally, we also had Divine Wind in here with Dion because, obviously, if I was going to be playing Stratos, I was going to be playing Divine Wind. Raigeki Reasoning Cosmojo, target 1 Cosmo monster you control, destroy it, and if you do, banish 1 card your opponent controls. This is a non-targeting banish. It destroys a Cosmo monster. When the Cosmo ships are destroyed, they gain effects based off of that. Or when they get destroyed, they get to banish themselves and summon a Cosmo back on the field. Cosmojo is a really good card. 3 copies of Strike and 1 copy of Warning. Extra deck has Seraphin Knight, Acid, destroys all spell traps. Unki, when it fights a monster by battle, you add a defeats a monster by battle. You add a change quick play spell card from your deck to your hand, and it can attack directly. Dark Law, we all know what Dark Law does. Koga, we don't know what Koga does. He gains sovereign attack per monster on your opponent's of the field, and during either place turn, you can banish hero monsters from your graveyard, and then target 1 face-up monster on the field, and that monster loses attack equal to the monster banished to activate this effect until the end of this turn. Abyss Dweller, you can detach a material to prevent your opponent from activating card effects in the graveyard. Castel, bounce a card by detaching 2. And then we have Infinity and Nova, which are used through Ptolemaeus. Once per chain, quick effect, you can detach 3 materials from this card. Special summon from your extra deck 1 XYZ monster that is 1 rank higher than this card, except a number monster, using this face-up card you control as material. So you go into Ptolemaeus using Brilliant Fusion, you summon out Trick Clown, then the best line of play would be you activate a Hero Lives, and then you summon out Shadow Mist, you add a quick play spell card to your hand, or quick change quick play spell card to your hand, then you use Brilliant Fusion, you dump Trick Clown, you dump Garnet, you summon Trick Clown, you summon Seraphin Knight, then you normal summon, I don't know, let's say you normal summon Tin Can, and now you have an additional normal summon, you summon a card from your hand, and now you can make a rank 4 from those. Or if you don't have any other cards you can normal summon, now you can use Bubble Man's effect, for example, if you happen to have Bubble in your hand. And then you make Ptolemaios using those 3 level 4s, and then you go from Ptolemaios into Nova, and then from Nova you can go into Cyber Dragon Infinity, which is in this deck because I was like, I want to play Infinity in one of the decks from the Arc V era 100%, because this card is like honestly iconic for this point in the game alongside Ptolemaios. Because this card was banned for a really long time because it was always used to go into Infinity. People would always play this card just to make Infinity, because Infinity is an Omni negate in like 2015, 2016. That's crazy. Like legitimately, that's an insane effect to have, especially because like it grows bigger for every single material that it has, and it had the shark effect, but it didn't need to target a special summon monster. It just had the shark effect on face-up attack position monsters, and that's insane. Like this card is wild. Yeah. Then we have Dagestar Emerald for recycling cards, using the effect to target 3 monsters in your graveyard and shuffle all 3 into the deck, and then draw 1 card. We have a Shark, obviously, as well on the arc, and then we have Utopia and the Lightning. Yep, that about does it. This is a... Overall, this deck is something that I think I still want to try to refine further, because I think you can make the argument that you don't need to play 3 copies of Mask Change 2, because you would probably rather be drawing into basically anything else in your deck, and maybe even make the argument for not wanting to draw into Shadow Mist at all, and instead choosing to just opt out of like running any copies or any excess copies of Shadow Mist, and instead maybe have Stratos in here. Because drawing into a Stratos is less bad than drawing into a Shadow Mist. Because Shadow Mist doesn't do anything for you on the draw, essentially, but yeah, maybe like having 2 copies of Stratos in place of 2 copies of Shadow Mist. But yeah, good luck with the games.
I will try to keep this concise, but I do want to like mention there are 4 decks. It's mostly stuff that we've seen before, but some of the stuff like the deck you're seeing right now are archetypes that have come out in this time period, but we haven't actually seen them played, so I will explain some things. But I will be quicker than I usually am. Also, none of these decks have side decks because we're just playing best of ones, because if we played a best of 3 with all of these decks, we would be here for 10 hours. Okay, not 10. We were here for 5 hours. But the first deck that I wanted to play is a Rage Raptor. I was essentially just holding out until Ultimate Falcon comes out, and then when it did, like, there was something else that I wanted to play, and I figured, like, for this one, obviously, having access to Cattle Call and Allure of Darkness, as well as Icarus Attack in a Rage Raptor deck is going to give it a big boost, and also, like, I threw in Norden in there just to have a free way to go into Force Tricks without using my normal. So my banned cards here, I have 2 of my 6, Soul Charge and Norden, but we will go over them when we do. But let's start with the deck, and with this one I'll explain some of the cards a little bit because we haven't seen them played before. So Booster Tricks is just a hand trap that protects our other Rage Raptors. I'm only having it in as 1 copy. It is still a level 4 that we can summon if we need it, but mostly we just want this to be a way to protect our stuff. And important thing, the 2 like feasible ways to deal with Ultimate Falcon here are Kaijus, which you still need to draw into, or get interrupted Kaiju Slumber, or the Lightning, which it just takes 2 level 4s to go into Utopia and immediately go into the Lightning. So it's the more likely way is the Lightning. And I'm actually now realizing the Lightning has an effect where you can't actually activate discard battles here. Well, it was there for the Lightning, but now I just feel stupid. Don't worry about it. Fuzzylanius can be special summoned if we control a Rage Raptor monster other than Fuzzylanius, and if it's sent to the graveyard, you can add another Fuzzylanius from your deck to your hand, and each of these effects is a once per turn. And if you special summon, if you use either of these effects of Fuzzylanius for the rest of the turn, on the turn, either of these are activated, you can only summon Rage Raptor monsters, which might come up because something that is really common play pattern for Rage Raptors is like 2 Force Tricks and then make Utopic Future, and with Fuzzylanius you can't do that. But it's still obviously incredible. If you spell summon from hand most of the time, that also like replaces itself on ending up in the grave by any means, which is incredible. Then we have 2 last tricks. It's a level 1. If the first effect doesn't really matter. If Raid Raptor battles while you have spell traps in your field or grave, you can spell summon this card from your hand and then gain a little bit of life points for each of those spell traps. But what is more relevant is you can tribute this card to make your opponent take no battle damage this turn, and then you spell summon any Raid Raptor Xyz monster from your deck in defense position if its effects are negated, and it returns to the extra deck during the end phase, and you can use this once per turn. Essentially, this just means that this normal summon this with a rank up immediate just gets us a Ultimate Falcon permanently on the board, which is obviously incredibly good. So that's why, like, Last Tricks is here to summon out Satellite Cannon Falcon, which can then be ranked up into Ultimate Falcon. Like, that's what it's here to do. Then we have Mimicry Lanius at 3 copies. Once they're doing your main phase, if discovered with normal or special summon this turn, you can increase the levels of a Raid Raptor monster you control by 1. We don't have a level 5 on Raid Raptors, so it's not really a thing that we want to be doing, but it is usable multiple times if we somehow can summon out 2 Mimicry Laniuses in 1 turn. Then we can use those to make Revolution Falcon, maybe. And then what's more relevant is doing your main phase if this card is in the graveyard, because if it was there this turn, unfortunate clause, you can banish it from your grave to add a Raid Raptor card from your deck to your hand, except a Mimicry Lanius, and this is hard once per turn. It's a really good way. It can also search our Raid Raptor spell traps, which is why we're playing one of each of these, because we can grab them with Mimicry if need be, but most often we are just grabbing another Raid Raptor monster. Then we have a single copy of Pain Lanius, can be used as an Xyz material for an Xyz summon, except the Xyz summon of Winged Beast type monster. And if, more importantly, if it's in your hand, you can target a Raid Raptor monster you control that has a level, and you take damage equal to its attack or defense, which one is lower. Your choice is tied. Is funny because the chance of it mattering are very low, obviously. You spell summon this card from your hand, and then it becomes the level of the monster you use. Obviously, you have any level 4, you special this, you take a little bit of damage, and then you just have a 4 Strix. Very good. Then we have, but you need another Raid Raptor, which is why we don't want to have this in more than 1. A single Lanius, simple, level 4. If you control a face-up Xyz monster, you can spell summon this card from your hand, and you can only spell summon once per turn this way. Simple extension. Then we have Tribute Lanius, which is our biggest beater as well. And doing a main phase, if this card with normal special this turn, you can send a Raid Raptor from your deck to the grave, or Raid Raptor card, sorry. It doesn't have to be just a foolish, it can be a foolish very good. I don't know why you want to do that, but you can. And most often than not, like if you're sending something with this, you would want to send Mimicry Lanius to get the search. And then doing your main phase 2, if this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle this turn, you can add a rank up magic quick play from your deck to your hand, and you then cannot spell summon once for the rest of this turn except Raid Raptor monsters. Pretty good. It can sometimes search us the quick plays, but like at this point, are we really swinging into stuff with just a normal summon something and beat over something, especially when we are a swarm heavy deck? Not really. It's mostly here just to give us the foolish and another Raid Raptor obviously on the board. Vanishing Lanius, very simple, level 4. Once per turn in your main phase, if this card were normal or spell summon this turn, you can spell summon a level 4 or a lower Raid Raptor from your hand. Simple extension. Then we have 2 Gamma CLC Turtle Kaijus. If we need to distribute anything in the game, we can just do that with the big turtle. And then for our spells, we have a single rank up magic Astral Force. Target the Xyz monster you control with the highest rank, and spell summon from your extra deck a monster with the same type and attribute as that monster you control but 2 ranks higher by using it as an Xyz material. And then in your draw phase, instead of conducting your normal draw, you can add this card from your graveyard to your hand. But the turn you activate this effect, like adding it back to your hand, you can only special using Astral Force. Then we have a Soul Shape Force, play half your LP life points. Then target 1 Raid Raptor Xyz monster in your graveyard, spell summon it, and spell summon a monster from your extra deck, one that is 2 ranks higher than that monster by using it as an Xyz material. This is here to use 4 tricks to go into Sidra Infinity. 3 Skip Force, this is the main one that we're going to be using. Target a Raid Raptor Xyz monster you control, and spell summon a 2 ranks higher Raid Raptor Xyz monster from your extra deck by using it as a material, and then your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the grave, you can banish this and the radioactive monster from your graveyard to special summon out a Xyz monster from your grave permanently. Reusing an Ultimate Falcon, pretty damn good. This is definitely one that we want to be seeing most of the time. And as you can see, like we have rank 4s, rank 6s, rank 8s, and rank 10s. So the 2 climb for all of them is what we want to be doing. Then we have a single Red Raptor nest if we want to be searching it out with Lanius. Mimicry Lanius, sorry, all of them are Lanius. If you control 2 or more Red Raptor monsters, you can add a Red Raptor monster from your deck to or graveyard to your hand. Once per turn, it's a continuous spell. And then talk about Red Raptor monster you control and spell summon one monster with the same name as that monster on the field from your hand or deck in defense position. You can only activate one of these per turn. And during the turn you activate call, you can only spell summon Great Raptors. Soul Charge we've seen, it's just there. A lot of stuff ends up in the grave, either detached or just naturally, so we can then get them back. All of our Raid Raptors are dark, so we are maxing out on Allure of Darkness. Kettle Call, kind of the same thing as Last Rex, where any normal summon of a, like literally any of our, any of our Raid Raptors on normal summon to immediately turn into Ultimate Falcon with a rank up on our hand. Because we can send a face monster you control to the grave, whose original type doesn't matter because all of Winged Beast, and then spell summon one monster from your extra deck with the same original type, but it can attack, effects are negative, and is destroyed during the end phase. And this is a flow effect that unfortunately also destroys Ultimate Falcon. So, but normal summon anything, summon a satellite with this, and then rank it up into Ultimate. Cattle Call, incredibly good. 2 Instant Fusion, they're there to summon out the 2 Nordens. 2 Twin Twisters, we don't mind stuff ending up in the grave, and we don't want to deal with back row. Right Gaze there if we want to blow up the summon monsters, and then 2 Icarus attack, because we have Winged Beast and getting a 2 for 2, pretty neat. As for the extra deck, 2 Identity Norden. With discard a spell summon, you can target level 4 and lower monster in your grave as spell summon, but its effects are negated and banish it when this card leaves the field. Instant Fusion this out, get to special with this, and make 4 tricks without using a normal summon. Pretty damn good. Then we have Ultimate Falcon. It's essentially just towers. We're never summoning it this way. We're always ranking up to this, unaffected by other cards' effects. You can delete this one from this card for the rest of this turn. All monsters your opponent controls lose stabs and attack, and your opponent cannot activate any cards or effects. And then if this card has a Raid Raptor monster as material, it gains this effect, where once per turn you in the end phase, you can make all monsters your opponent controls lose 1,000 attack. And then if your opponent controls no phase of monsters, you burn your opponent for 1,000. Essentially, we get Satellite Falcon on board, we rank it up into Ultimate Falcon, and then we have a material on Ultimate Falcon to either consistently be burning our opponent or just making them lose attack. This gets beat over by lightning and nothing else, essentially. It can be Kaiju, but it's an incredibly good boss monster. It's a good waking up the dragon target. You know Ultimate Falcon is good. Satellite Falcon we are probably never summoning, but it's here if we want to. If it's actually summoned by using Raid Raptor monster as material, you get Harpy's Feather Dust to your opponent, and your opponent cannot activate any card effect in response to this effect. And then quick effect, you can do this one to target a phase of monster your opponent controls and make it lose a turn for each Raid Raptor in your graveyard. Not great. The Master Nuke of your opponent's back row is neat, but it's nothing crazy. Satellite Cannon Falcon is 99% of the time just a way for us to rank up into Ultimate Falcon. Revolution Falcon is fine. Rank 6, you can do this one. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. And at the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's face of spell summoned monster, that monster attack and defense both become 0. And then if it has a Raid Raptor Xyz monster as Xyz material, it gains the effect of once per turn popping one of your opponent's monsters and burning them for half the attack the monster had on the field. Actually pretty good, like being able to immediately just swing over everything that isn't battle immune. Well, spell summon stuff. And then also having access to pop even stuff that wasn't spell summoned. Pretty good. Then the stars to show, 4 Shreks, very simple. It's completely generic level 4, gives 500 attack and defense for each winged bee monster you control except this card. And once per turn you can do this one material from this card to add a level 4 dark winged beast monster from your deck to your hand. Extremely simple. It just wrote us anything we need. Then we have Abyss Dweller here to deal with any graveyard shenanigans. We have Sky Blaster, Musketeer, like Castle to spin anything we can't really deal with and don't have a kaiju for. Use Big Future is really good because really often, like if you open a good hand, like you just make 2 Force Strixes and then you can just overlay those into Utopic Future, assuming you're not locked into Raid Raptors. And obviously Utopic just yoinks your opponent's stuff. And like I said, like Sidra Infinity is here as a Soul Shave Force target. And what it does is gains attack for each material attached to it, and once you can target a face-up attack position monster on the field and attach it to this card as a material. And once when a card effect is activated, quick effect, you can detach one material for this card from this card, negate the activation, and destroy it. I don't know if we've seen this before, but essentially it's just a modernized juiced up version of Shark. And it's been 14 minutes and I've covered one deck. Luckily, it is the one deck that, it's the one deck that we haven't seen yet, so I don't need to explain the effects of the other deck's monsters, but I need to grab a glass of water because I'm losing my voice, so I'll be right back. But now we're both going to be on another different deck, and at least last time this played a little better. This is not what I like to see, I will say. Alright, I think we will simply...
Do not pass, do not pass, do not pass.
No, I'm not passing, don't worry about it. I'm gonna set, and I'm gonna set, and I think that'll be all she wrote.
Alrighty then. Stand by, main. I would like to activate emergency teleport.
That is okay.
I would like to summon out a Cosmo Tin Can.
Tin Can is pretty good.
I would like to then normal summon Cosmo Tin Can.
Seems pretty good.
Main phase 2. Battle phase.
Battle phase is fine.
Phase 2.
Yep.
Set 1. End phase. Tin Can effect.
Yep.
Resolve effect. If that's okay.
That is fine. I don't think actually you can do. Yep, that is fine.
Okay. I choose 3 different Cosmos, and then one of them will be randomly sent to my... you will randomly pick one of them and add it to my hand. Then I activate the other Tin Can.
So the one added was...
Forerunner.
Forerunner. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Not like
other Tin Can.
Of the things, but yeah. Yep, that is fine.
Yeah. Resolve this once more. I would like to choose... Tin Can, Dark Destroyer, and I can only choose cards with different names. That is important.
Yep.
And Cosmojo.
Tin Can, Destroyer, and Cosmojo.
Oh, what I got?
Tin Can. Tin Can. Okay.
Yeah. Then I would like to banish one of my Tin Can for the effect of special summoning. I would like to summon that Slip Rider and destroy the spell that is set, spell trap that is set.
Sure. I think I will chain Icarus attack, tribute my Lanius, and this is once per turn. I guess we'll target Tin Can, and this gives you 4 or lower.
I think you should destroy the place now.
I was gonna say, like, I think I would rather do this since we are in the end phase, because I don't know what it was. Yeah, okay, that was definitely ended up being the right play. Well, not what I wanted to see, I will not lie, but how am I breaking this hard? This time I did like quite a bit of testing with the other 3 decks. Like I think I did 5 test hands with this Raid Raptor deck, and I did not brick once, but unfortunately my current hand is kind of ass. It would be nice if I could have done stuff with mimicry, but what had to be done had to be done. I think all we can actually do is set one and pass. It's gonna be unfortunate if it ends up being a just break fest for.
Yeah,
because like the other three should be very consistent.
string for 3/3.
Yeah, 23 is fine.
Normal tin can. Then set 1.
Yep,
End phase tin can effect.
tin can is fine.
Resolving tin can. Choosing Slip Rider, Straw Man, and Dark Destroyer. Surely this time I get my Dark Destroyer, right?
Nah. Alright, so another Slip Rider. So all of 3 of those are also in circulation.
Yeah.
Okay, then. I think we will go for this. Actually, yeah, I should have done this in end phase, but we will fire off a Twin Twisters, pitching Fuzzylanius, and targeting your back row. Another Solemn. Okay, thank God. Fuzzylanius effect. It's sent to graveyard. I can add another one to my hand, so I will go grab that. And it is... There we go. Then... This gives you a tour from hand. This gives a spell trap, and I don't know the other stuff. The only thing I know in your hand is another Slip Rider. No, I know Slip Rider, and I know...
Forerunner, Slip Rider.
Yeah, I don't remember what it did.
2.8 thousand and 2.3 thousand.
Yeah.
Forerunner has essentially no effect outside of can be target.
Alright.
It gains me life points at the end of my in my standby phase.
So. Gotcha. I will normal summon Great Raptor last Strix.
Yay!
And I would like to attempt to use the effect of tributing it to spell summon at a Great Raptor Xyz monster from my deck in extra.
Yeah.
In a defense position, but it's negated and gets returned in phase. And with this, I would like to pick Satellite Cannon Falcon.
Then you're gonna skip force.
I would like to skip force. Set Satellite Cannon Falcon. Is this okay?
Yeah.
And then we will summon out Ultimate Falcon.
Look, he summoned the towers.
Essentially, yeah. And then I guess we'll need to get rid of these at some point. Anyway, so I will swing over Slip Rider for 1200.
How much was that? Oh yeah, it doesn't reduce unless you actually choose to. Yeah, 1200. Activate its effect. Special summon out a Wicked Witch in attack position.
And then... Is there anything else I want to do? I don't think so. So we will simply go end phase and Ultimate Falcon effect permanent attack decrease to Witch. And then back to you.
Alright. Stand by main. Normal and Garnet.
Yes, sir.
Overlay Wicked Witch and Garnet. Go for number 39. Utopia. Then I shall activate the effect of number S39, Utopia the Lightning, from my extra deck to overlay it on a rank 4 Utopia. And then go into battle to attack into the Ultimate Falcon, detaching 2 materials.
Yep.
To increase its attack into 5,000.
1,500 and Falcon is gone. I was like, alright, now you just need lightning or a kaiju and you're good.
It's like, I checked specifically because I was like, fuck, is there any way I can put in a problem solver into my deck that can deal with anything that's unaffected by card effects, anything that is too big to swing over usually, and so on. Like there was so many things that I was trying to figure out a solution for while I was building these. And I checked Utopia the Lightning release date, and it's barely out. It's like a couple of months out.
Yeah,
It's perfect.
It's like for the time, it's literally we have kaijus and we have the lightning. So there are ways to get things. Obviously, lightning is better because rank 4 is pretty easy to access.
Yeah. Rank 4 is extremely easy to access, all things considered. I'm gonna activate Cosmo Town from my hand and then I'm gonna activate the effect of Cosmo Town to add to my hand a tin can.
Yep.
That I will take as much damage times 100 as its original level, so I take 100 damage. Yep. And then I would like to go to end phase, resolving the effect of tin can.
Yep.
Okay. Choose a Cosmojo, Farm Girl, and a Cosmo Town.
Mojo, Farm Girl, and Town.
There we go. Got Mojo.
Mojo.
And then
Mojo, Slip, and whatever the name of the last shuttle was. I will draw.
4 Slip and Mojo and tin can. Those are the cards that you need.
Alright, I guess we will. I don't think there's. Need that. Let's start with a normal summon of Vanishing Lanius.
Yep.
And then we will use the effect of Vanishing Lanius to summon out the copy of Fuzzy Lanius we have. Then I will overlay these two for a, you'll never guess, a Force Strix. Then I will use the effect of Force Strix. Touching one, anything you wanna ogre this?
No. I don't think I will ogre this.
Fuzzy Lanius, and I will add a level 4 Darkwing Beast monster from my deck to my hand, and I'll also add another copy of Fuzzy Lanius because of the Fuzzy Lanius effect. So Fuzzy Lanius, and then we will also grab a...
Oh wait, I don't take battle damage from the turn with Ultimate Falcon on board because of the effect of Forster.
Oh yeah, you're true, because you're right. Forget about that part. And
double checking.
Yep. And then I will also... let's get a Singing Lanius. Then I would like to special summon said Singing Lanius. And I would like to special summon Fuzzy Lanius since I specialed the last one with Vanishing Lanius's effects.
Yep.
I'd like to overlay these two. And I would like to make another Force Strix. And for this one, we will detach Singing Lanius. And I will add to my hand a Booster Strix. Then I would like to overlay these two for a copy of Utopic Future.
Yep.
And then we will use the effect of Skip Force in our grave to banish said Skip Force, as well as I think Fuzzy Lanius to special summon out Ultimate Falcon.
Yep.
Then I would like to proceed to the battle phase, and we will go swing into Utopia. We will go swing Utopia over Tin Can.
Activate Tin Can effect to banish Tin Can. And summon out a Forerunner in attack.
Sure. No redeclare. And then we will go Ultimate Falcon, swing over it for 700.
700. And I banish him. Oh yeah, we're supposed to banish the Slip Rider as well when it gets destroyed. That's a necessary part of it. I banish it. I summon out a level 6 or lower from my deck.
Yep. Yeah, the banish happens when. Okay.
Yeah,
6 or lower.
that's not legal. I can't do that.
Oh,
Yep.
that is unfortunate. Yeah, that's all. Then main 2. Yeah, you get this back and nothing else here.
Alrighty then, chat room. I would like to activate the effect of Cosmotown, shuffling into my deck. 2.
Yep, Slipreader and Tin Can.
Then I draw 2.
So now I know the Cosmojo and the thingamajiggy. Forerunner.
Then I would like to activate. Actually, no. Okay, I'm gonna go Battle Phase.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna swing into Ultimate Falcon.
Interesting.
Is this okay?
Honestly? No, there has to be something. This might be a bait. I think I will elect to banish Booster Fix to pop Utopia, the lightning here.
Okay. Utopia. Wait, double check.
It gets destroyed.
If
Minus
this card
banish.
battles, your opponent cannot. No, you can't activate effects when this card battles.
Okay, well then there is
Yeah.
nothing I can do about it. So yes, it is fine.
So yeah, it dies. Great.
You take a
And you take
1,000.
1,000 damage. I activate. A hero lives to lose half of my life points to special summon from my
I
deck
see.
a Shadow Mist.
Yep.
Activating the effect of Shadow Mist to add to my hand a masked changed quick play card. Sorry, not even mask, just change quick play card. Okay.
Yep.
Important. Yeah. I will add to my hand a
What
mask
fucker is
change
this?
2.
Okay.
I am going to activate Reasoning. Would you like to call a number between 1 and 12?
Cards. If the monster symbolist 1, send all extra cards. If not, spell summon. Okay, so this is gonna be another. I will call 4 because I mean, if you cook something else, then sure. But like currently, what I see is
I would like to special summon out Slip Rider.
Yep.
Then I would like to. That's a bit unfortunate, not gonna lie.
I don't remember how big the light mask here is, but currently I don't think it's yet big enough to beat over.
I am going to set 2 cards.
Mm-hmm.
Normal summon, Shadow Mist.
Gotcha.
Overlay.
Yep.
The 2 Shadow Mists.
For
wait. I actually have to think about this because I have 2 different options I can do here.
Mm-hmm.
This is unaffected by card effects, right?
Yes. One of the sets is Mojo, but I have no idea what the other one is.
I can yoink this, but don't do anything for me.
So the last card in your hand is the whatever ship.
No, I shuffled into my hand. I don't remember. I used Cosmo to shuffle it back in my deck to draw 2. Same Tin Can.
Oh, I remember.
So,
I thought it was
you
Slip
know-
Strider and Tin Can you shot. No, it was Slip Strider and Tin
I
Can.
summoned Forerunner earlier. I summoned Forerunner to defend.
Oh, it's something summons from hand or deck. Interesting.
Yeah.
I see.
I can't get this to be big enough.
Oh, you don't have a second lightning? That's unfortunate. I mean, not like it would come up often.
So the thing is, I had one level 4 monster left in my deck, and I
see.
had 2 other monsters left in my deck. The last level 4 monster is Trick Clown.
That's
So if I hit
unlucky.
Trick Clown, I get Trick Clown back, and I have 2 level 4. I can make 2 rank 4s, and this works perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
But now I have to decide between making a let's say just say rank 6 and I think I can do this though. No, because this I don't have any targets for this. I would need something in my graveyard. No, I can't do that. I can't actually still do this. I will make Daigusto Emerald. I would like to activate the effect of Daigusto Emerald, detaching a single material from it to target 3 monsters in my graveyard. I would like to target Utopia the Lightning, Utopia, and the Wicked Witch.
That is fine.
Okay, I put the Wicked Witch into the deck, Utopia and Utopia Lightning into the deck. I shuffle them, I draw 1 card. I would like to then set 1, activate the effect of Cosmo Town
Yep.
to return to my hand a Tin Can, taking 100 damage.
Yep.
Okay. And now
He is cooking. He's definitely cooking.
like the biggest problem here is specifically the part where I don't have the second. I could have gone into the second rank 4 here, but I can't do it because I didn't get the Turk Clown, which leads me into having to pass here.
3 back row is still scary. One of them I'm like 90,000% sure is Mojo, but that is all I know. And I mean, probably popping Mojo on this anyway. That would be very goofy, but I don't think it makes sense. Yeah, let's go a battle phase. We need to get through this shit at some point anyway. So I will start by
actually, do you mind if I just change the model to defense?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, actually, I can just no, I don't want to put Slip Iron in defense. You can swing over that too easily.
Yep. On battle phase, I would like to attempt to swing at Slip Rider.
Okay. Attack declaration. Activate Cosmo Joe targeting my Slip Rider.
Yep. I figured this was in the future
Is this
of
okay?
this, because yep, that is fine.
I
nothing
will
there.
destroy my Slip Rider and banish the Utopic Future.
Yep.
And then I would like to resolve the effect of Slip Rider,
Yep.
touching it to special summon out a Wicked Witch in defense position.
Yep. That's for 1,000, but at this point, honestly, it's a lot. This is gonna become a lightning anyway. Actually, I need to check one thing real quick. Does it actually work? Okay. So it works a different way. I think this is not this. I think this is the right thing to do.
I agree, actually. I wholeheartedly agree. I think getting rid of Emerald here is a really good idea because I do have extensions from Emerald and I can just continue recycling the stuff that I currently have in my graveyard with it.
Yeah.
It's like the strongest card that I have in my extra deck that isn't a problem solver.
And with Wicked Witch, you can just pay 1,000 to make it immune anyway, and next turn you're going to Lightning anyway. So I think
Correct.
that is the best thing I can do. And then another question is. God, that's annoying. Yeah, I think still we will simply do this. Good luck.
Okay. Stand by. Main. I would like to. Set 1. I would like to normal summon Tin Can.
Yep.
And I would like to special summon Elemental Hero Man
That is fine.
to overlay Wicked Witch and Bubble Man into Utopia and the Lightning.
Yep.
Then I will like to activate the effect of Cosmo Town, taking 500 damage from taking Cosmo Slip Rider back to my hand.
Yep.
I will go into Battle Phase.
Yep.
Attack using Utopia the Lightning, detaching 2 materials. You cannot activate effects when it attacks.
Yep.
It will be 5,000.
I will take once again the 15 hundo. Falcon is gone.
Then I would like to. It sucks. Oh. No. Do I even have 3 copies? Do I even have 3 cards with different names in my deck anymore? It doesn't matter, does it?
You got through a lot of them.
Yeah, like I didn't get a single Dark Destroyer in rotation, which sucks. Because like they would just be infinite essentially when they're in rotation. So the fact that I missed Dark Destroyer like 3 times is crazy to me.
But if the first game I break, the second game we both get bad draws, that means the third game you break, right? Isn't that how it goes?
That is definitely not how it goes, I don't think. But then I would like to simply end my turn. Yeah, I'll end my turn.
Yep. I will draw.
Actually, just to check, resolving the effect of Tin Can, just to check. No,
Yep.
I do not have 3 targets. Actually, I do have 3 targets.
Okay. Tin Can, Mojo, and
It's Town.
Town. Okay.
Yep.
Sure. Draw standby main. End up Lair of Darkness.
Go for it.
I will draw 2. And then I will banish from my hand a booster Strix. Then I will That's annoying. No, I genuinely think this is my best bet. I will set and
In
pass.
your end phase,
Yep.
I will activate the effect of Tinkan, banish it to
Yep.
special summon out Sleep Rider, destroying the face down.
Yep. And actually, I think I would rather do this to not give you information. God, can I have one fucking game where I don't break this hard? Because like this is genuinely like 5 games of like I always get full combo, and then the first game where it actually matters, and I draw fucking jack shits.
Yeah. To be fair, you're like, even though you break it in this set or this game, you still managed to get a fairly difficult board to overcome. The only reason why I could do it was because I had lightning, and I had a line that let me get to lightning again later.
Yeah, it would just be nice if one of my 1 year of cool stuff, and especially since we haven't seen Raid Raptor, like I could actually show the cool stuff instead of just drawing jack shit every single game.
Yeah.
But that's how it goes sometimes.
Okay, so this time we're playing Noble Knights. Noble Knights obviously being like one of the standout decks from this era for me specifically, alongside decks like a few decks that I haven't still got around to playing, specifically Madolche, because Madolche was like Madolche was a deck that I was considering playing for this, alongside the last deck that I ended up playing. Like, it was kind of between a bunch of random things, a synchro pile, a 60 card pile, and so on and so forth. Like, there was a bunch of ideas. But Madolche and the final deck were 2 decks that I really want to also play from this era, but Noble Knights ended out eking out, and the other deck ended up eking out Madolche for the fact that I've played this deck for over 10 years at this point. Not specifically, obviously, regular Noble Knights. Infernobles have come, and the Infernobles are just objectively the stronger deck. So I'm out more often than not just playing Infernobles nowadays. But I figured I might as well be playing the rank 4 cards, because I've suffered through that before. And depending on what I end up playing against, it could be kind of funny to fight against Dragon Rulers using Noble Knights again, because that's like the pits of hell that I was forged in, you know. Anyhow, we have a Ghost Organ Snow Rabbit, because of the fact that it's just a good way of disrupting my opponent, and with a deck that really doesn't want my opponent to have a board, essentially, when I want to start. 1 copy of Guinevere, 1 copy of Bedivere, 3 copies of Boys, 3 copies of Brothers, because I really want to be able to actually summon out cards, even if I'm going to have a suboptimal turn after that. It's still going to allow me to have stuff like, I don't like, a Boar's on board, Dristan on board, and Dristan can use its effect to perhaps pop cards on the field. Dristan has the effect of, if it's equipped with a Noble Arm spell card, you can try 1 card on the field and pop it. Gawain, if you control a light normal monster, you can spell summon it from your hand. And then Mordred, obviously we talked about this card before. If it's the only monster you control, and it has a Noble Arms equip spell equipped to it, it gains the effect of, once per turn, if you control no other monsters, you can spell summon 1 Noble Knight monster from your deck in defense position, even except Noble Knight Mordred. And if you do, destroy 1 equip spell card you control. And then you go from there to Boris, and then because you pop the equip spell card, it triggers its effect, so it equips itself to Boris, or you can equip it to Boris. Now Boris gains an effect. The Boris use it for 3. You send 1 to the graveyard, and then boom, that's it. There we go. That's how the combo works. And then now you suddenly make a rank 5 out of these 2, and bada bim, bada boom. We've talked about this before. We have Trick Clown, we have Summoner Monk, we have Garnet, and a Brilliant Fusion. Obviously, once again, rank 4 deck, so we're going to be playing Brilliant Fusion, and also we're really reliant on normal summoning. So we want to make sure that we can get out the normal summon, even though like Mordred was not active after that, after using Brilliant Fusion. But even then, we can now go into like Ptolemaeus using Mordred, and using another using another level 4 in our hand, because we get Trick Clown into the graveyard no matter what. Then we obviously we're playing Summoner Monk because we have so many spells in here, and there might be situations where we summon out we don't have any good summons, so we summon out Summoner Monk, and then we just discard like a spell to summon out another Summoner Monk, and then we use that Summoner Monk to discard another spell to summon out a 3rd card, and now once again we make an Infinity, and then boom, we set down the Infinity, and we set like 2 cards maybe. Harpy's Feather Duster, because back row is really scary against this deck. Instant Fusion to use Norden to go into, as you guessed it, Ptolemaeus or any of the other rank 4s that I have access to. Monster Reborn, once again, is like when this card is spell summoned, you can target level 4. Yeah, it's Monster Reborn is here for basically any level 4, but if I happen to hit Norden, the Monster Reborn is also the same. Yeah. Irrelevant, really. Erendite, Caliborn, Excalibur, Galatine, and Destiny. Obviously, we're playing 3 copies of Caliburn and Destiny because Excalibur prevents targeting and Destiny prevents destruction once per turn. Caliburn, Erendite, and Galatine are here for names more than anything, and also for the fact that I can equip 1,500 worth of attack boost using these. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Then we have Reinforcement of the Army, 3 copies. I'm playing 2 copies of the original art and 1 copy of the Sky Striker art. Very important, very important. Then we have 2 copies of Solemn Judgment, 1 copy of Strike, and 1 copy of Warning. Extra deck has the 3rd banned card that I'm playing, which is Norden. Norden has the effect of, when this card is special summon, you can target one level 4 or lower monster in your graveyard and special summon it, but its effects are negated. Also banish it when this card leaves the field. So you make a rank 4 with this every time. You summon Norden, you summon a card in the graveyard, you make a rank 4. Like even after Brilliant Fusion, you can go like Brilliant Fusion, dump Trick Clown, dump Garnet, summon Trick Clown, and now you Norden, now you summon Garnet back with Norden, now you make Ptolemaeus with those 2, and now you suddenly have an Omni Negate to protect whatever the fuck you're doing next. It's annoying. Like there's a reason why this card and Norden are both bad. Seraphin Knight, Black Rose Dragon, because of the fact that we have Ghost Ogre in case we happen to run into a line where we really need to pop the field for some reason. Then we have Artorigus, Castel, Infinity, Nova, Daigusto Emerald, Shark, Utopia, Lightning, Artorigus, Starleech Paladin Ammo. Requires 2 level 4 light monsters. Once per turn, you can attach 2 materials from this card. Then target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls and changes its attack to 0. And if you do, it has its effects negated. If this card you control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard, card or effect, and sent to the graveyard, draw 1 card. And Ptolemaeus, obviously. This is probably the most streamlined deck out of all of these because this is the one that like I look at. I'm like, this works. Yeah, this works. This is a deck that I've played before. This is gonna function as I've thought it would for years, obviously. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Good luck with the games.
And we are back. Luckily, the rest of these shouldn't be that bad. The second deck is Infernoids. I really liked Infernoid initially, but the first time I played it, we didn't have access to Decatron yet. We had Monster Gate, but now we have Monster Gate and Reasoning and Decatron and 1-for-1 and 6th Sense. One of the single craziest cards ever printed in Yu-Gi-Oh's history. Basically, declare 5 and 6, and your opponent rolls a 6-sided die, and depending on the result, you either draw 5 cards, draw 6 cards, or mill a 1-4. Every single one of those is good for us here. I mean, obviously not mill 1, because it's like your trap card saying mill 1 from the top of your deck is really bad. But basically, like mill 3, mill 4, draw 5, draw 6, all incredible effects, especially in this deck. So it's very powerful. And then we just have some Lightborn stuff here with Raiden. But we've seen most of these before. You know what the Infernoids do. They banish different Infernoids. They get effects. They contribute 3-bit monsters to banish stuff from your opponent's grave as a quick effect. And then they want you to have 8 or lower total levels, so the swarming doesn't get completely out of hand. We have 2 Raiden. We don't mind the mill, and a level 4 tuner is nice to have. Since we do want to be making some synchro plays, Decatron we didn't have last time. If it's summoned by any means, you can Foolish Burial and Inferno monster from your deck to the grave. Foolish from your deck to the grave. You can Foolish an Inferno monster, and Decatron's level gets increased by the sent monsters, and its name becomes the monster original name, and its effects become that monster's effects, and its tuner. It does everything. It can be summoned with 1-for-1 because it's a level 1, and also pitches stuff from our hand to the grave, which basically like any Inferno monster, whether it's in our hand or in our grave, it's all the same. So incredibly good. We have a single Perme. I'll only talk about their Infernoid effects because you know anything else at this point. Well, you should know because we've talked about the Infernoids before, and I don't want the deck breakdowns to be 40 minutes. Perme, level 1, shuffles set cards on the field back to the deck. Antra, level 2, pops face-up cards, or returns face-up cards, sorry. to your opponent's hand. Harmonic, level 3, pops monsters on the field. Petrolea, level 4, pops spell traps on the field. Satesmas, level 7, can banish things if it battles. A Tondel can attack twice, and it's a level 8. Then we have Deviati, which Heavy Storms the board except for Void cards, and is a level 9. And it also has an effect, the 2 big boss monsters that need 3 banishes in Deviati and Onunku. The other Infernoids have the effect of tributing a monster on your opponent's turn and targeting a card in your opponent's grave to banish it. But for Deviati and Onunku, it's a little bit different. For Deviati, you can, when a monster effect is activated, you can tribute a monster, negate it, and banish the card. And for Onunku, it does the reverse of those. So on special summon, it dark holes the whole board except for itself. And then when a spell trap effect is activated, you can tribute a monster, negate the activation, and banish it. These are the like big boss monsters, obviously, but thing here, very good. Monster gate, tribute a monster, excavate cards until you excavate a card that can be normal summoned or set, spell summon it, and send everything else to the grave. Obviously, the only things are a tuner, so always bound to hit a tuner with this. And kind of the same thing for reason here. Your opponent declares a monster level from 1 to 12. You excavate until you get the level that excavate a monster that can be normal summoned or set, sorry. And if it's the same level as the one declared, you spell summon it and send the rest to the grave. If it's not, then you send everything to the grave. All of these outcomes are just really beneficial for us. Then we have 2 Burl from a different dimension. This is here because obviously we need to banish our things. All of our monsters, except for Decatron, it doesn't matter whether they're in our hand or in our grave. So being able to bring them back with Burl, obviously, essentially just means like get 3 Infernoids back in your hand, essentially, for this deck. A single void expansion where we get tokens and we can use we can banish the tokens instead of banishing other Infernoid monsters to summon out stuff. And then it also means that the only target that our opponent has for card effects or attacks is our highest Infernoid monster. Voiceseer, essentially, it just protects our stuff from it makes them immune to everything. And then in the grave, if an opponent monster would be destroyed by a card effect, you instead banish this of destroying any of those. Void Imagination basically means that all of our Infernoids are now level 1, and all battle damage they inflict to your opponent is halved. It's kind of whatever the reason why we're running this as a one-off is it's our fusion card, where we can send this to the grave to fusion an Infinite monster by using essentially polymerization stuff. And then if your opponent controls a monster that was spell summoned for extra Guna and you don't, you can also use up to 6 monsters from your deck as fusion materials, which is crazy good, as you'll see when we get to the fusion. Sorry, I'm really losing my voice. 1 for 1, you know what that does. Charge of Light Brigade, mill 3, add right into our hand. Galaxy Cyclone, we can pop spell traps on the floodgates on the field, even if it gets milled. If it doesn't, we can pop set spell traps. Breakthrough skill, negate anything, and even if it gets milled, we can also negate Jeexx's stuff during our own turn. 2 torrentials, just because torrential's pretty good, and 6 sense, obviously, because both the mills and draws are insane. As for the extra deck, you've seen basically everything here, like Clearwind Synchro Dragon, Black Rose Dragon, just good 7s, you know what both of these do. Side Frame Lord Omega, 2 copies, you know what it does as well. And Omega is especially good because it dodges, because all of our stuff cares about like you having effect monsters that total levels are 8 or lower. Obviously Omega dodges out of the way, so it's really good for that. Leo here as a level 10, which is just a big dumb beater that is hard to deal with. And Star Eater, the summon can't be negated, and when it attacks, it's basically immune to stuff. Other than that, it's just a big dumb beater. The reason why I added this is 11 came up a lot in testing, specifically with Raiden plus Satsumas. And this is the best 11 we have available to us that only needs 2 monsters to summon. So, yeah. Jesus, I'm losing my voice. We have one Dante, one Abyss Dweller, one Exton Knight Castle, Flare Metal. I think we've seen this. Essentially, this punishes your opponent for using any effects or cards. A Draco Sack, a Big Eye. These are here for 2 Saint Smash. I'll say, just in case we get to number 8s, it can either draw us if we call something correctly in this deck, but more often than not, it's just a free mill. And then we can detach to spin something to the top or bottom of Jeexx's deck. The reason why we ran Void Imagination is Terra, who takes Onunku and Deviati, and then 1+ Infernoid monsters. And the reason why Imagination lets you use up to 6 from your deck is this. When this card is fusion summoned, you can apply these effects in sequence based on the number of materials with different names used for this card's fusion summon. So over 3, each player sends 3 cards from the extra deck to grave, kind of whatever. 5+, which means I guess 6 or more. Each player sends top 3 cards from their deck to the graveyard. 8+, each player returns up to 3 of their banished cards to the graveyard, so just a burial from a different dimension. And 10+, each player sends their entire hand to the grave. Obviously, for our Infernoids, like whether they're in the hand or in the grave, is the exact same. So this effect is what you want to go for with Terra. It's not great, but I figured like I might as well play it. Our extra deck space isn't that tight, and I think it's cool. So that's the Infernoid deck. So essentially just a lot of milling and hopefully explosive effects. All right. Draw standby main, and we will. Which one is better? It doesn't matter, I don't think. I think I'd rather do this. Yeah, I will banish from my hand Infernoid Perme to spell summon out Infernoid Harmonic.
Yep. Harmonic. That's important.
Then I will activate Monster Gate on Harmonic. We will tribute it and be milling stuff until we can normal summon something. Watch this be the first one. That's funny.
Oh my god. How the fuck? It's the only one, right? It's the only normal summon that exists in the entire deck, right?
In Infernoid, yes. I do have another card, but still out of what did I have? 42 cards. I have 5 copies.
No, bro. Run it back. Run it back. Run it back right now.
No, this is... Whatever happens, happens. I guess we will go... What do I want to pitch? I guess I'll pitch... I'm trying to see if there's anything I can make out of this. If I make this a... Actually... no, that doesn't work. Actually... Okay, it does work, but it's really... Actually, no, does it? Because that's literally the one thing that I'm not running. Oh yeah, it doesn't even work. That's funny. Oh, God. I guess in that case, we will send a... Yeah, I think this is literally the only thing I can do. We will send a Patchoulea to make Decathlon a level 5, and then we can banish out said Patchoulea. Actually, no, it's... No, does this even work? No, it needs to be... Sorry, I fucked up. I need to send... Math is hard.
I will agree.
I need to send
100%.
Harmonic to then banish the other Harmonic to summon out the Harmonic to have a level 4 and a level 3. And then tune, and the only thing that I can, I guess, feasibly make here is a clearing synchro. Then we will set one and pass. That is, with Monster Gate, that is crazy.
You know, this is like the best card you could have made against this deck.
That's funny. Also, in your draw, I would like to fire off Sixth Sense,
Ah, yes.
declaring 5 and 6.
Alright. Please let me roll video game.
Are you banned from?
There you go.
Sure.
Okay.
So,
That's
well,
that's
yep.
okay.
I guess we will then send only one.
Oh, fuck!
Dude, how am I low rolling this bad? And it's a point,
this?
dude.
Oh.
Is this gonna?
Oh no.
This is another. It's whatever.
It's
Universe
over.
hates me today, I guess.
But
Go for it.
add to my hand a level 4 or lower warrior. I would like to add to my hand a noble Knight brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to activate a second reinforcement to the army. This
Go
time
for
without the
it.
artwork.
Yep.
Then I would
I
like
break
to
out with one deck and roll once with Sixth Sense and Monster Gate, and this dude opens 2 Rhoda.
normal summon brothers. Activate the effect of brothers. I special summon 2 noble knights from my hand. I would like to special summon Bedwyr and Tristan. Activating the effect of Bedwyr, sending a noble arms equipped spell card from my deck to the graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
And I shall send to the graveyard a Excalibur. And then I would like to equip to Tristan the Destiny. Then, because Tristan was equipped with a noble arms spell card, I would like to destroy Clearwing Synchro Dragon.
And I make Synchro Dragon against the deck that plays Xyz.
You can once per turn when a monster effect is active that targets a 1 level 5 or higher monster on the field and no other cards, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it.
And all of these level 5s? Oh, I guess that's not. I mean,
I'm targeting Clearing right now.
I mean, yeah, I guess I then I do that because otherwise
And
it's
then
just gone.
Destiny prevents the destruction, but
Yep.
it's still like I cannot summon anything other than nobleness, which is like the biggest problem here because of fucking brothers. I will make a valiant effort, however, summoning out Artorigas. Let me double check this. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, you can only use this effect of Tristan once per turn. Yeah. I will overlay Bedwyr and... Actually, no, I can't even do that. Fuck me. Fuck me. I'll just do this. Make Artorigas, and then using Artorigas effect, I would like to put to the spawn trap zone, both of these. Set a card, and pass.
Sure. God. Spell spell traps is nothing.
Can be targeted or destroyed once per
This is
turn.
the extra thing. And then this was... Gotcha. I guess we gotta just try to go for it. Sure. I would like to banish from my grave Decatron, and from my hand, Onuku, to special summon out Seitsemäs.
I would like to Solemn Warning Seitsemäs.
Yep. I figured it was solemn, and this does not target anything, so that just happens. And
I just need to Evernote Master from here. Yeah, it's also in here, of course. So yeah, I just need to double check that.
Yep.
That is, yeah.
And I guess we'll go battle phase and swing over Bedware.
Would like to activate the effect of Bedware, moving the Noble Arms of Destiny to Bedware.
Yep, that is fine.
I take
so
900 damage.
900, but it prevents it from being destroyed.
Correct.
Main 2 and go. You remember how Ryu yesterday was like, it better be the best episode yet?
This isn't the best episode by a fucking...
a big fucking middle finger descended from the ceiling and told me to go fuck myself.
Yeah, this is very unfortunate. I will activate the effect of Destiny, retargeting Artorigus. Go into combat, swing into this guy, detach 2. And then it's 5,000 versus 2.5. Then 2k. And pass.
Honestly, I think I'll banish Tondel and Harmodic to summon back Seitsemäs.
Yep.
Metal Face, swing for 100.
Yep.
And then use the effect to banish Noble Arms of Destiny.
Okay. No.
Me too, go for it.
Stand by main. I would like to set 1, pass.
Malface, swing for 600, and this is, I was just gonna say there's only one target. I just wanted to make sure it's not a face-up card, and go.
Wait, actually, I can use that.
Yeah, for the.
I can active.
For the.
Yeah, I can just negate it.
Yeah, and then you take 15 for that. So
because that at least requires you to add resources too.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. And you're still up on card advantage.
Yeah. Normal summon Mordred.
Yep.
Activate Excalibur. Mordred cannot be targeted. Activating the effect of Mordred to special out from my deck another Noble Knight. And then I shall summon out a Noble Knight Brothers. And then activating the effect of Noble Knight Brothers, shuffling back 3 Noble Knight or Noble Arms cards in my graveyard. And then drawing a card. I will put the Excalibur that was sent there this turn to the top of my deck and shuffle that. Draw 1. And I will overlay into oh wait, fuck. I'm gonna change the Bedvere send if that's okay, because
Go for
this
it.
is the one that I was supposed to do. Yeah, then overlay this. I was genuinely like staring at my extract room and like, wait, I'm lost. I know for a fact that I just specifically did this. Yeah. Summon out Artorigus. And I will not activate the effect of Artorigus. I would like to banish Excalibur from my graveyard to summon out a Sacred Noble Knight King Artorigus using the Artorigus Blade as material. Then swing for 2.2.
Yep.
And I have no targets for it. I have no targets whatsoever. I would like to say a card and pass.
Banish Seitzman, banish Deviati to summon out Seitzamas. Yep, and that'll be a game. What a fun fucking game this is when the universe doesn't want you to play. Can't wait to break in this fucking next game as well. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be fantastic.
If I break with literally full power fucking dragon rulers, then I mean there is no outro. I'll make the announcement and we're out of there.
That's gonna be
Because it is
harsh.
I genuinely don't know how the fuck you fire off Monster Gate in a deck with 2 Raiden and 3 Decatron as your only normal summons in a 47 card deck and get 1 mil of 6 cents, which also doesn't do jack shit. Like I
don't know.
The chances
I
of shit
legitimately
that's
don't know.
happened today happening should be basically 0.
Okay, so we are playing Ritual Beast for the final deck in this anniversary episode. I have played Ritual Beast once before during this series right now, and Ritual Beasts are one of those decks where I really wanted to play it back during like Arc V, but I ended up never getting the cards for it, and nobody else ever ended up building it. So, needless to say, I never got around to playing it. I also do not have like a particularly good grasp of how this deck can be played. I've only played it once so far, and I've only like done a couple of test hands and whatnot. Like originally, I didn't like in the first series or first match that I had with this, I didn't have that many copies of Steeds or Ambush because I was like, well, these are trapped cards. I'm gonna be breaking the whole fucking time. But in hindsight, dude, these cards are insane. I should not have had just like 2 or 1 copies of each. I should have been playing full playsets. And I played like a full set of Ritual Beast Bond, which is fucking stupid in comparison. But yeah, we have 3 copies of Ghost Ogre because of the fact that obviously we're like an OTK deck essentially, or we're a control deck, and we don't want our opponent to have that much of a good turn 1. So we're just gonna Ghost Ogre and hope for the best. Elder allows us to normal summon an extra Ritual Beast monster, and then we have Lara and Gwen both having as effects to summon out a Ritual Beast monster into the graveyard or in the banish. And then we have a Pelio. Pelio has the effect of banishing a Ritual Beast monster, giving attack to all Ritual Beast monsters until end of turn. Conahawk, which is this card is gonna. I'm gonna be saying Conahawk a lot. Okay, it's gonna be a couple of times. Do not take shots for every time I say Conahawk in the following segment, please. For your own health and your own safety, do not do that. But if you do, just post it on a social media, and it's gonna be funny. It's gonna be real funny. But yeah, Pelifan, Rempengu, and then we have Zephyr and Bilica. When this card is normal or spell duel summoned, you can target one Ritual Beast or Zephyr monster in your graveyard, except Pelica, and spell summon it, but destroy it during the end phase. So yeah, these cards are like most of these are cards that I already played, and they all came out in the same set essentially, except for Zephyr and Pelica. And this card, which is Brain Research Lab. Once per turn, you can normal summon 1 Psychic type monster in addition to your normal summoner set. So basically allows us to have access to an extra normal summon for like Elder. And like we can like normal summon Conahawk, and we can normal summon Elder and use then use Elder effect, from what I understand. I'm not 100% sure about this, by the way, like because it says you can only gain this effect once per turn. I think it's only once per turn for Elder, but it should be fine because this doesn't have that limitation either. So, but yeah, then you can summon Elder, and then you can use Elder effect to summon out another Ritual Beast, and then you can do stuff. Yeah. We have 3 copies of Italy because every single one of these is a level 3 or lower psychic. Even though Elder needs to be normal summon, it's still gonna be better to have access to an extra copy of any of these 3 than just not having any access to them and playing more like more excessive copies of it, I guess. Because there's also a problem if I played like 2 copies of these both instead of just playing more copies of Italy, I could be flooding my hand with monsters that I can't use for the summoning of this. Whereas with Italy, I have more fine-tuned control over things. Then we have Foolish Burial, and also like you can use these on your opponent's turn, but it's kind of irrelevant. Foolish Burial to be able to send literally any one of these to the graveyard if need be. Oracle of Zephyr, when this card is activated, add a Zephyr monster from your deck to your hand, and it obviously allows me to add Zephyr Pelica. And then I don't, yeah, I don't spell someone using a no. Yeah, this was completely irrelevant. This part, yep. Ritual Beast Spawn, banish 2 Ritual Beast monsters from you control, and special summon 1 Ritual Beast monster from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. Terraforming, 1 copy of Terraforming because I want to have another copy of this, and again for the sake of not like flooding my hand with bullshit, and also for the sake of if I end up like playing Necro Valley in this, I wanted to have a Terraforming so I could essentially have a copy or an extra copy of Necro Valley and an extra copy of Brain Teacher's Laboratory. But because the fact that we don't have side decks for this, I'm not playing Necro Valley. Bottomless Trap Hole, 2 copies. Ritual Beast Ambush, 3 copies. Steeds, 3 copies. Non-targeting destruction up to the number of Ritual Beast monsters you currently control, which basically means that if your opponent allows this to resolve, you can do some bullshit immediately after. 5 Solemns? 5 Solemns. I was about to say 6 Solemns. Yeah, 1 copy of Judgment, 2 copies of Strike, 2 copies of Warning. Judgment is too costly to be run at like a playset. Strike is good enough to be run at 2, and Warning is, once again, kind of costly, so I didn't want to run it as a playset. So instead, I'm like opting to have a mix of them all. And also, Judgment is just overall like so strong that I really want to have one of them, even though it's expensive as fuck. Torrential Tribute. Yeah, that deck is kind of simple, I'm gonna be honest. Like, out of all of these ones, the ones that I've so far recorded, this feels like, oh, this is a real deck, huh? Oh, this functions, huh? Ulti Apelio requires a Ritual Beast Tamer as Ritual Beast, and then from that you can go into tagging it out and summoning stuff out. Ulti Apelio is probably going to be something that you're going to be using to swing, but the problem is that it has the effect that it is unaffected by other card effects until the damage step, so you can't actually use it with Apelio. This was something that we discovered last episode, not last episode, but last time I was playing Ritual Beasts, and it's kind of unfortunate because Ulti Apelio, and in that episode, was unable to actually swing over threats because of the fact that it prevents itself from being affected from Apelio's effect. Then we have Ulti Canahawk, which is going to be the card that you're going to be seeing the most out of this. Has the effect of targeting 2 Ritual Beasts, requires a Ritual Beast Tamer, a Spiritual Beast to be summoned. You can target 2 banished Ritual Beast cards and return to the graveyard and add Ritual Beast card from your deck to your hand. And you can return this card to the extra deck to summon out 2 banished Ritual Beast cards. Ritual Beast Tamer, Ritual Beast Monster in defense position. And the second effect, alongside this first effect, essentially allows you to recycle the effects of the first 2 that you use. So, for example, if you have Canahawk, you get to banish 2 cards when you summon, because Canahawk is not once per turn. Special summoning it is once per turn, but the effect itself is not once per turn. So you can easily fill up your banish zone using Canahawk, and then you can make multiple Ulti Canahawks, and you can just kind of loop that and keep that going and search for cards and set up your board in a way where it allows you to possibly destroy like 3-4 cards next turn, have an ambush ready for next turn, and so on. Then we have Ulti Gaia Pelio, which is an Omni Negate, I think it was. If some of this card, if you summon it using Contact Fusion, it gains the effect of when a spell trap or monster effect is activated. Oh, it's for effect. A spell trap card or monster effect is activated. So it's essentially not for spell or trap card effects. It's specifically for cards. So it's not an Omni Negate in that sense. It's also not a negate for summoning. You can banish 1 ritual-based card from your hand and negate the activation, and if you do, destroy. This is a pretty strong effect overall. Like, this effect is probably gonna tide me over pretty well if this hits the board. The only issue is that it requires a Ritual Beast ulti, it requires a Ritual Beast Tamer, and a Spiritual Beast monster on board at the same time. It's kind of rough. It's gonna be kind of hard, and it can't tag out, obviously. Then we have Ulti Pilafin, which is just, you can't target it with, it cannot be destroyed by card effects. It has 2,800 defense, so it's kind of a big wall, and it can be tagged out easily. Black Rose Dragon, because there's Force and a level 3 tuner, which can be summoned out using like E-Teleport, which is also important to note. I didn't talk about that, but you can use E-Tele to summon out like Ghost Ogre to threaten, to negate, or pop stuff, sorry, not negate, pop stuff using Ghost Ogre. It's pretty good. Castel, because again we have level 4s, Daigusto Phoenix, because we have a bunch of level 2s, 3 of them. And then, because it allows your wind monster to attack twice. So, for example, if we get it out while we have Ulti Apelio or Kanahawk, it could be fine. It could be fine. I'm kind of surprised the guy Apelio is not a wind, by the way, but I guess it makes sense. Then we have Levier, so the Levier can summon out the banished stuff. And then we have Chidori, which allows us to target a set card on the board when it's summoned to bounce it to the bottom, spin it to the bottom of the deck, and once per turn we can attach a material and spin a face-up card that your opponent controls to the top of their deck. This deck is probably not going to perform that well, mostly because of the fact that I am not very comfortable with it in comparison to, for example, Noble Knights, which will probably be performing at the level that you would expect Noble Knights to be performing at. But we will see how this goes. Anyhow, good luck with the games.
As for the third deck, let me take a sip of water. You knew I had to play Dragon Rulers. So here we have 2 bank cards, another 6 cents, because obviously it's insane for this deck as well. We once again, like, our Grave works as a second hand, and a Soul Charge, just for the hell of it. And you know what all of these do. The babies pitch themselves, and as well as a dragon or their own type of monster, supposed to summon out their specific ruler, but it cannot attack this turn. And then the rulers all have their effects where you can banish a total of 2 their element and dragon monster from your hand or grave, except this, to special summon this. And during your opponent's end phase, if you control a special summoned dragon ruler, you return it to the hand. And then you can discard them, as well as one monster that is specifically their own attribute to get their own effects. And then if they are banished, they add their element of a dragon monster from your deck to your hand. And you can only use one effect of these 4 per turn, which makes playing this deck pretty interesting. So we have the same ratios for all of them. We have 3 of the main ruler and then 2 of each baby. And for Blaster, the pitch effect is popping a card on the field. For Redox, it's to spell summon out a monster from specifically your graveyard. I was like, I don't think there's a monster reborn. Yeah, your grave. For title, it's a foolish. One monster. Yeah, I was like, I don't think this had limitations. So yeah, for a title, the pitch effect is a foolish, and for a Tempest, it's to add a dragon monster from your deck to your hand. So essentially just pop a card, summon something from the grave, foolish something, add something from deck to hand. Additionally to the Dragon Ruler package, we have 2 Debris Dragon. When normal summon, you can target a 1 monster with 500 or less attack in your grave. Spell summon that in attack position, but negates its effect, and cannot be used for the synchro material except for the synchro summon of Dragon Monster, and the other synchro materials cannot be level 4. We could make 11 with this, with the Dragon Rulers. But I didn't feel like, I feel like for this one, the extra space was a little tighter, so I didn't want to put that in there. So instead, this is here to play with specifically the, with lightning. The rest are too big, unfortunately, but with lightning, you can make a level 7, and for those I have Black Rose, Moonlight, Ancient Pixie, and Clearwind Synchro. It's just like, obviously, nuke the board, like just overall good at dealing with hollow monsters. Maybe something with, if we have Dragon Ravine or Jeexx playing field spells, Ancient Pixie, pretty good. We also have 2 level 1 tuners in Griseska and Flammable Guard. Might as well both be a Flammable Guard, but I wanted some differentiation there, I guess. And with these, we can make our 8s in Stardust, Cyframe Lord Omega, and a Crimson Blader, obviously with any of the rulers. Then we have Super Rejuvenation, essentially just a Dragon Ruler card. You then phase of the turn, discover deck, they draw a number of cards equal to the combined number of Dragon Monsters you discarded or attributed from your hand or field this turn. She draws usually a bunch of cards, like 3+. Obviously with 6 cents like this, our hand is always just loaded. Same thing, Sacred Sword is 7 stars, banish a level 7 monster from your hand or face field, draw 2 cards, so you can only activate 1 per turn. But it doesn't matter. Just draw 2, get the banish effect, so you're drawing 2 and adding another copy of whatever you're banishing into your hand. Anyway, Dragon Ravine, the discards are nice. This is also why we have Corseska here. So we can either add a Corseska with this or just keep foolishing something. So Dragon Ravine, obviously very good. Because of consonants, we have 2 tuners, so decided to put 2 of these in. Both of them have under 1,000 attack, so we get to draw 2 with consonants. And this, even if we open both of them, if we have both of these tuners, we can draw 4, which is obviously insane. Once again, like Twin Twisters, because our stuff doesn't mind being in the grave, just to deal with some back row, and Soul Shards, because our stuff will end up in the grave a lot. Sixth Sense I already explained, don't need to explain it again. Same thing with like our extra deck, we also already explained the synchros, but for the rest, like it's Dragon Rulers, we're gonna have Big Eye, we're gonna have Draco Sack, we're gonna have Flare Metal. Flare Metal is mostly there, like if we go first and we get a good opening, like going into something like Flare Metal with like maybe like Omega or Stardust, or even like Black Rose Moonlight or Claywing, like would probably like the best possible like opener. Big Eye if there's something actually worth taking, and Draco Sack if we want to deal with something. So our exit lineup pretty damn strong.
Yeah.
All right. I'll start by pitching from my hand a. How do I want to do this? We'll pitch a Burner and a Blaster to summon out Blaster from my deck.
Yep.
Then we will bin from my hand Redox and Redox to special summon out a monster in my grave. And for that, I will get out a, I think Redox. Then we will
It's time for somebody to finally make 7 sin.
I will
Is it
overlay these 2, and I will make
Oh yeah, it came out in Crimson Gold, right, yeah.
I'll make a Red Eyes Metal Dragon. Then I will banish from. I have used this. Yeah, I still think it's worth it. I'll banish from my grave a Burner and Redox to summon out Blaster, because I haven't used a Blaster effect yet.
Yep.
Then I will normal summon from my hand a Dragoonity Corseska, and we will use these 2 to go into Stardust Dragon.
Yep.
And that is all she wrote.
I think the fact that you just played fucking Metal Dragon is hilarious.
What do you mean?
I'm gonna normal summon a Spiritual Beast Kanahawk.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I lose.
Yep.
I would like to activate the effect of Kanahawk, losing 500 lives.
Activates
like
a
to...
card or effect. That's funny.
Yeah.
Imagine if it was all summons too, but yeah, 500.
It's fucking disgusting.
I'll be honest. Jeexx did mention like before we started that his final that he couldn't initially come up with was a Ritual Beast. I completely forgot. Yep, another 500.
Yep. And then I'm gonna search for a once per turn. You can get an additional normal summon of a psychic type monster.
Yep.
I would like to normal summon a
500 for
Zephyr
activating
Plika,
Research
and I lose
Lab.
500, yeah. And I lose 500 for the effect.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And then I would like to banish my Bellica and my Kanahawk to summon out a ulti Kanahawk. And then I would like to return Kanahawk to the X, taking another 500 to summon back out a Kanahawk and a Bellica. And then I would like to activate the effect of Kanahawk again, taking another 500. Banishing again another card from my deck. I would like to banish the Beast Tamer 1. And then I would like to do the time warp again, making another Kanahawk.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I would like to activate the effect of Kanahawk, returning to the graveyard my... actually, wait, I just realized... No, Pelika does go to the banish, because she doesn't go to the grave. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Pelika and Kanahawk to the grave to search a card, to then take another 500. I would
And
like
here
to
I was
search...
thinking whether I should make Drake a sack or this.
I would like to search a ritual... Ritual Beast's Bond, and then I would like to tap Kanahawk out again, taking another 500.
Are you just trying to kill yourself?
Summon out both of these, activate the effect of Rampengu, banishing a ulti Pelio. Is
Yep.
it sent to the graveyard or banish? It's banish. Yeah, to send the graveyard or
And
banish.
take 500.
Yeah, and take 500. Sending to the graveyard a... Oh, I don't have one, so I
This
can't,
is
I can't even do
our.
this.
Are you gonna pay for Smothering Tithe?
Yeah, I'll ban this thing instead to send the other one.
Yeah.
No, don't send, because I don't have the target. I have both of them in my hand, so yeah, I took 500 from that, and then I would like to banish both of these again for another ulti Kanahawk.
If it makes you feel any better, there is no fucking shot any of my other decks are beating this, even if somehow I get actually one on the board.
I mean, well, actually, I don't like. I think I'm not gonna actually make Kanahawk here.
Okay.
Oh. See, I might be making. I might be actually making some other plays. Hold up.
If it's a third game out of these four where you just make Utopia the lightning to run over my problematic thing, I will crash out.
Well, you know, it's very unlikely for that to happen, right, fellas? Anyway, just make this thing, and then I'll set 2, and I'll pass.
Would you even set the... I guess I know you would definitely set the point. Oh, that's so fucking funny. Well,
You want to use Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon real quick so that you can get a Red Eyes on the board, you know?
yeah, let me do that.
You know, if the effect was actually like summoning it from the grave, hand, or deck, I think that would be a viable reason to run a one-off copy of Red Eyes in Dragon Rulers.
Yep.
Because that would be an extension, but
It's also 7, so it would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, currently. As the and if I was genuinely considering like putting a Red Eyes there just to have extension of Flare Metal in a case where I get it from like going first, but if there had been any sign from the universe today, I'm very happy that I did not add another brick to my
yeah, that's fair.
into my deck. Honest, I will pass.
Okay, I'm gonna return to the extra deck my Telephone.
Yep.
Not face down to the extra. Yeah.
Yep.
Wait, I didn't go to the extra. There we go. I take 500 for it. I summon out Ven, and I summon out Rampengu. Standby, main. I'm gonna normal summon Spiritual Beast of Pelio. Okay.
Yep.
Then I'm gonna... It's a fucking fire monster. Fucking kill me now. Into me. I'm gonna...
Make Utopia the lightning.
Actually, before I do that, I need to double check. Yeah, I'm gonna overlay into Utopia.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm gonna overlay into Utopia.
That works too.
I'm gonna have to bounce that.
Yep.
It's not letting me target for some reason. So
You're bouncing Flare Metal, right?
Yeah, I'm bouncing Flare Metal.
Yep.
The side is dying.
That is fine.
Okay. And then...
Yeah, at least you made something else on lightning for once.
Come
So
on,
I
man.
guess
Come on.
That's something.
It's like objectively the best card that
I know,
access to.
it's just, I've seen 2 games come down to you just summoning Utopia the Lightning when all 3 games I've just drawn like ass.
Yeah, that is
So-
that is very much fair.
I'm
very
just
much
straight up
true.
not having a good time.
Pass.
Alright, what do we do here?
I think I might have griefed myself. Dude, I paid 5,000 life points to just play the game. Oh man.
Alright, so I will banish from my grave Corseska, and yeah, it's gotta be Redox to summon out Blaster. Redox get banished.
Well,
I will grab a Earth Dragon monster from my grave to my deck to my hand. Sorry,
yeah.
and it's gotta be a there's the greedy play, there's the no, it's gotta be reacting. Then fire off Sacred Sword of 7 stars, banishing Tempest. I will not banish him first, so I first add the Tempest target because chain results backwards, right?
No, it doesn't activate yet. It activates after you finish the turn.
Okay, yeah, then I will draw 2, and then I will add a dragon monster from my deck to my hand, and I guess for this we will get a... Let's get all of them into circulation, I guess. Yeah, we'll go stream. We will pitch from our hand stream as well as lightning. Summon out title. Then we will pitch from our hand reactant and title to summon out redox.
Yeah. Always actually getting the full spread here.
Then I summoned this, I used redox banish, I used this banish, I haven't used title.
Yep.
So we
actually get all 4.
Yeah.
Wait, no, you don't have a Tempest.
Yeah. It's 2 titles, sadly, and not Tempest. We can pretend that one of them is Tempest. We'll banish reactant for this, as well as stream to summon out the second title. Actually, I mean, this should be in attack.
Yeah.
Because these don't have a limitation to attacking now.
No.
Then the question here is, do I make this shit first or...
So you win here, right?
I mean, because I think you're solo. I think I first overlay and then we actually do I.
Just to give you a heads up, you cannot change Stardust to Solemns. That's important.
Yep.
Just saying. So if you're gonna spend 3 cards and I'm gonna Solemn it, you're not gonna win this turn.
Because I can do these 2. Oh wait, I don't actually know. It doesn't even matter because I was gonna make Yeah, it doesn't matter because I literally so I was gonna make like before I go battle phase. I used to make Draco sack, but I forgot because we are playing on the classic board. I don't even have space to get both
Yeah,
the
you don't have
tokens, so
any-
it literally doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you
I
could do it, and you could bait me to react, assuming that I'm using something that you can react to using Stardust, and then you can fill out your board, and then you contribute one of the tokens.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't think it makes sense. So instead, we will simply go into swinging 600
I don't
over
think that there's any reason to do it. So
castle,
there's a,
redux over
and
this.
yeah, it's GG. So I had bottomless.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
So if you had done the Draco sack play, you could have got enough space.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Technically.
I mean, technically, yeah. So because obviously I want to keep Stardust in case of some. I mean, you wouldn't be running Mirror Force, but something like I was gonna like overlay. Yeah, these.
Oh,
and then
but
make
like when
Draco sack, but-
when you summon the Draco sack, I active the bottomless. Then you tribute the Stardust to prevent the destruction, and then you all know I only have one, right? And
Yeah.
Draco sack can destroy anything, right? Not just monsters.
Draco sack is a card on the field. Let me see.
Yeah.
It's card. I
So
was gonna like.
so you
protect
could
the face of the
attribute
board.
one of the tokens and destroyed the last face down that I had.
Yeah, since this is
Yeah.
sin anymore, like the only thing here, like I was contemplating whether to make Stardust or Frame Lord on turn one, and I also had this as a synchro target. But other than that, like there is nothing interesting here. I mean, it's just full power fucking Dragon Rulers with all the crazy shit, and this is where I had a single Soul Charge, and the other band card was Six Sense, so I had two here. I mean, you don't need to. I mean, I'm not gonna look at those because we'll see this hopefully for 3 more games, but more than likely one more game.
Just a heads up, I removed my 2 floodgates from this deck because I realized that that's probably gonna be ass, knowing that I was gonna go up against Dragon Rulers next. So
Fair.
Yeah.
Wait, what were these? This was, bro. This was honestly at this point, fuck the Monarchs. They've bricked 2 different episodes in a turn. So what do I have? I have Monarchs. I have Raid Raptors, and I have the Infernoid stuff.
yeah.
You
mind before we go to the next round? Essentially, shall we take a break?
I was just gonna say, literally, I was gonna say, like, before we go, let me pause the recording because I need to take a piss. So, yeah, that works out perfect. We'll be right back after these messages. And we are back. And now, what are the chances that Monarchs, Infernoids, and Raid Raptors all go through this ritual-based deck go in second? Immediately do that.
Would be kind of sick, not gonna lie. Oh boy, buddy. Oh boy. I'm not gonna.
Alrighty. What the fuck?
Harpies Feather Duster.
Oh, I wish.
Oh man.
Interesting. A normal Mimicry.
Yeah.
Target Mimicry to special out Pain Lanius.
Yeah.
Yep, and I will take 1100. And I mean, if you have fucking Solemn, then you have fucking Solemn. Overlay these two for Force Tricks. Do you have it?
What does this say again?
It adds things to my hand.
I do not have it.
All right. Then I would like to detach Mimicry Lanius to add a card.
But
yep.
I do have this.
Oh, yep. That is okay. So this will get popped, but I will get to add with Mimicry. And I guess with that we'll go for a... God. Honestly, all of these are really fucking annoying. I guess we'll go for a Vanishing Lanius.
All right, that's one of the good ones.
And then Myrkalenius was sent to my grave this turn, so I would like to banish it to activate the effect to add a Raid Raptor card from my deck to my hand. Except another Mimicry, if this is okay.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, I think we'll go for... Actually... No, we'll go for a Fuzzilanius, just so we actually have something for next turn. But unfortunately, that is all I can do. So it is back to you, Buster.
Hey, this is kind of impressive right now. I'm not gonna lie.
It wouldn't be
I've
the
got
history Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning Journey any two if it wasn't just a fucking breakfast, I guess.
I'm gonna normal summon a Ritual Beast Tamer Elder.
Yep.
And I'm gonna activate a emergency teleport to summon out one of these. These are all. This is level 3. This is level 1. None of these are tuners, which is kind of ass. This is very unfortunate. I will not pretend as though it is anything else. An elder. Summon an elder.
Mm-hmm.
Overlay the elders. Summon out a Daigusto Phoenix. Activating the effect of Daigusto Phoenix to make it be able to attack twice. Is this okay?
That is fine.
Okay. So it will do 3,000 damage.
Humongous beatstick.
Huge!
I will take both.
Okay. Now, I end my turn.
Alright.
And in your draw phase, I would like to activate Emergency Teleport.
Mm-hmm.
To summon out a Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit in defense position.
Alright.
Go.
Alright. Draw a standby main. Raigeki.
That's unfortunate. Man, activate Emergency Teleport. Summon out a
Ghost Ogre.
A Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit.
That is fine. I guess. Does it work? In a way, it kind of works, I guess. I would like the normal summon Vanishing Lanius.
Yep.
Gives me an additional special, and for that, I would like to go
You activate its effect.
Sorry?
You activate its effect?
I would like to do that, yes.
Yeah, I will pop it.
Yep. It gets popped, and I get the special out. Oh, we'll go Singing Lanius.
Yep.
We have a Raid Raptor, so I would like to special Fuzzy Lanius.
Yep.
I would like to overlay for Strix. Is this okay? On Solemn Warning. Yup, that does deal with it.
Yeah.
Fuzzilanius gets sent, so I get to add another Fuzzilanius to hand. And I don't think there's anything else we can do here, so go for it. Please don't get a starter.
Alrighty, I don't have starters.
Okay,
This deck doesn't earn like
okay,
there's no starters, bro.
It's not the third Ghost Ogre, so that's at least something.
Bro, what do you mean a third Ghost Ogre? I used 3!
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say like that is not. That's what I said. Like we don't need to be afraid of that. So Last tricks, normal summon.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah, I would have just done.
Wow. Guys, I can't believe it. I can't believe it didn't draw a single one of the cards that allowed me to play the game.
Well, welcome to me earlier playing Monarchs. That is fucking terrible.
Dude, I can't believe I actually drew every single one of my emergency teleports. It's like insane.
This one. Isn't Yu-Gi-Oh fun?
Oh man.
But yeah, my turn would have literally just been make 2 Ultimate Falcons and swing.
Great.
And I'll pick 6 of those again.
I love Ultimate Falcon, guys. My Falcon is so cool.
I love towers. Yippee!
It's worse than towers. Like it's objectively
I mean,
harder.
yeah, it's
to
just a
beat
better
over than
towers, but essentially anything that is towers-esque, I would argue is not very interesting.
I don't even. Oh, this is Infernoid, right? Yeah.
I mean, it could be either one.
Conahawk.
Infernoid and Monarchs.
Monarchs are left. Yeah. Conahawk?
Yep, that is fine.
Conahawk.
Effect is fine.
A ritual beast. Banishing. Yes, I will banish. Wait. I guess this would have worked too. Well, it's too late now. Banishing a Laura. And then I'm just gonna pass.
Banishing? It's currently in the grave. We're
Where'd it
supposed
go?
to.
Oh,
Yeah.
whoops. It's every single effect since banish these.
Oh. Interesting. Fire reasoning.
I'm gonna call. What did the level 1 do?
The level 1 on normal or special, it foolishes an Infernoid and then increases its own level and gets its effects by the level of the sent monster and the effects of the sent monster.
I'm gonna call 1. Yeah.
Yep. Let's go for a do.
Yeah, it's the cringe looking
Do.
alt art.
And there it is. It goes to the grave.
Oh.
What about second reasoning?
What the hell? I'm gonna call 1.
Yep. Doop. No, 2 6 cents.
Bro, he's actually gonna dick out at this rate.
And it is a Raiden, so we special out Raiden. Raiden effects. Would you like to go Sogar it?
This is a normal summon, right? No, this is not a normal summon.
No, I haven't normal yet.
Nah.
Alright.
Nah, I think I'm fine.
Yep. Then we actually can do something. The question is what?
I mean, you could also just summon Petrolea and make a 8. Summon out Stardust or Spark.
Can I? Oh, there we go. I mean, that would be funny, so do I just do that?
I still think it's insane that Apelio doesn't work with ulti Apelio. This shit is wild.
We love playing good cards. I can make a couple things, but I think the thing that I would like to make the most is we will banish from our grave a... Does it make more sense? Which one makes more sense? No, I'll do it just because I don't think it's happening. Otherwise, I'll banish Antra and Decatron to summon out Satsumas. Is this okay?
This is okay.
Then I would like to tune these two for 11.
And 11.
And summon
Star
out Star Eater.
My goat!
We're never gonna fucking see this card, so you know. I think it's neat.
I play that in some stuff.
Yeah,
Specifically because of the fact that it's a big enough body and it has the effect of preventing it, like, effects.
yeah, it's just a big,
that-
big dumb fucking beater.
Yeah. The main reason why it's not that good even now is because, well, we have this fucking guy. I don't know if you've heard of him. His name is the Lightning.
Yep. Literally, the reason why it's here is I think there was this, and I think the fucking White Aura Behemoth as the only two 11s, and from the like 5 or 6 test hands that I made with this deck, the like Raiden plus Saitsemas came up so often that I was like, I mean, just give me an 11, and this is the best thing that there was for that. So I was like, you know what, just give it to me.
It's gonna normal summon the from Blicker. This is okay?
Yeah, I will break his skillet though.
Alrighty then. That is very unfortunate. I will set one card and pass.
Mm-hmm. Gonna stand by main and does it have no. We will simply go and swing for 22. Main 2, and that is all she wrote.
Stand by main.
This might be the saddest episode
One pass.
of all time.
Oh, actually, I get loud in my hand because it's been banished for 2 turns.
Oh yeah, that's all G.
That's unfortunate.
Finally, you get to play soon.
Yeah, great.
Does this do anything?
Maybe
that
I get to
care
play.
about? No, we'll chill. We'll swing.
Right, bango.
Yep. Yep. You go ahead.
Yeah. Alrighty then, chat room. Main phase 1. I activate. Brain Research Laboratory.
Which
Banana.
I think you should pay 500 life points for that.
What do you mean?
No, the flare metal thingy.
Oh, yeah. It's luckily not on the board right now. I'm gonna
Yeah.
activate the effect of Brain Research Laboratory to normal summon card from my hand.
Yep.
Is this okay?
That is perfectly fine. No ghost
I
ogres
will
here.
normal summon Lara
Yep.
using the effect. Then I would like to summon out, using Lara's effect, a Kanahawk.
Yep. Go
This is
for
okay?
it. That is fine.
I will summon out Kanahawk. Kanahawk effect. I would like to banish from my deck a Ritual Beast card.
Mm-hmm.
This is also okay.
This
Go
is fine.
add to
I will
hero.
tell you if I have an issue with what you're doing.
Okay. I can't wait for the Nibiru. Very excited. Then I would like to fusion summon
Go for it.
using Kanahawk and Lara to summon out a Kanahawk. And then I would like to tag my Kanahawk back into the wait, what the fuck? It does it now. Okay, and now I type 2, which is gonna be Kanahawk and Lara.
Mm-hmm.
And I send these out, assuming you don't have something to negate this effect with.
That's fine.
Acting the effect of Kanahawk.
Yep.
To send a Paleo.
Yes,
And
sir.
then I would like to banish This is kind of annoying.
We're always aiming at the poor penguin. Don't do it. No.
I'm gonna kill it.
Don't do it.
Bastard.
Don't you fucking do it.
Oh
yeah, also, this should have... Brain Research Lab should have 1 psychic counter, since you successfully normal summoned Laura using its effect.
So replace one action any psychic type muscle control. Wait, what? Okay, that's I don't think I'm gonna.
I might kill you with the burn. Hey, I might kill you with the burn. You never know.
When this card, okay, yeah. I mean that is not unrealistic, but I didn't consider that it had an effect.
Yeah, it's funny.
I'm gonna summon Kanahawk again, activating the effect of Kanahawk to return 2 from my banish to the graveyard to add a Ritual Beast card from my deck to my hand.
Mm-hmm.
I will return a a Aura and a Kanahawk to add to my hand a Ritual Beast card, and I would like to add a wait, did I banished? You mind if I change one banish I did earlier this turn?
Go for it. It's
I would like to banish this thing instead of when, and I'll put the when into my hand using this.
yep. That's perfectly fine. I don't think it matters
Nice.
that much.
Glad to hear. Glad to hear. Then I would like to expend my actual normal summon,
Yep.
which I think doesn't count for this,
No.
to summon Wen. And Wen will summon a Ritual Beast card from my banish.
Yep.
I will summon Ritual Beast Apelio.
Yep.
I would like to activate the effect of Spiritual Beast Apelio to banish from my graveyard a Rampengu.
Mm-hmm.
To then tag out the Hawk into Rampengu and Tamer Elder,
Mm-hmm.
where we'll then banish again for a
Personally, I
Kanahawk.
think instead of you like making your ritual beast big, like
return
you should have just
these.
made lightning.
I mean, I return these two.
I mean, yeah, you can make it
Do
later
that.
still.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't have lightning.
Oh, well,
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate.
I mean, you have Castle or something, I'm sure there.
I mean,
Stardust only.
yeah.
immune
By the way,
somewhere,
because
I
I
think.
activated Pelio, all my ritual beasts gain 500 until the end of
Yep,
this
I'm
turn
counting that for that.
forever. Then I banish out a Pelio, I
For
banish
just
out
not
Monarch,
this
and I
time.
banish out Then to summon out a
Big fucking
Ritual Beast Ulti Gaia Pelio,
Big fucking chungus.
which will have 3,700 attack.
Yep.
I would like to go into combat and attack using it for 3,700.
I will take 500.
And then I go main phase 2, I set 2, and I pass.
All right. 7,000 back row, and I mean, potentially one
Oh, I'm gonna.
negate.
Can I ask if I can take the last card that I set back to my hand?
Go for it.
I read my card.
That is fine.
This thing is useless. I've asked for many takes these backsies this, and I apologize.
It's all good. We nothing here.
This does not have a tag out effect, just so you know.
Yep. I mean, I would like to attempt to break through skill your Gaia Pelio to negate it for the turn.
My Gaia Pelio. I mean, however way you do that, it doesn't really matter, because if I negate it this way, it's just, it's irrelevant. So I will choose to let this go through.
All right. All the Gaia Pelio is negated. Then, I didn't actually even check. And yes, I do not actually have it, which is unfortunate, but I think we can still make something happen here. Sure. I would like to banish a Entra from my grave to special out a Patrulea from my hand, and we will pop.
Before you do anything,
Yep.
I would like to activate Solemn Strike.
All right, that is fine.
When you activate the card's effect.
Yep. So So nothing happens here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I would like to...
The burn is now actually relevant, and that's kind of scary.
It is actually relevant, which is pretty funny. Because I do run 3 Twin Twisters.
Why are you not running Harpy's Feather Duster?
I am not.
Well, why?
I still live in the reality where it's banned. I forgot it's limited. So yeah, I completely just forgot about that. I guess we will banish out... God, this is a little annoying. We'll banish Harmadic and attempt to go for Petrolea again.
Go for it.
And I will pop this one.
Alrighty then.
Alright. Then, I would like to... banish... I guess we'll banish Saitsemas to summon out the second copy of Petrolea and pop this thing.
I will activate my Ritual Beast Ambush.
Yep.
Summoning out 2 Ritual Beast monsters, or blah blah blah. And I would like to summon out Kanahawk, which I'm pretty sure I can summon. Yes, does not have any limitations on that. And also summon out a Laura.
Yep. That is fine. Then I guess we will use these 2 to make Exiton Knight. Will I?
I mean, you don't have any reason to make Exiton Knight.
I could actually...
I have more cards by default. You have more cards by default.
Actually, I think the better thing to make here is...
Is it...
Dweller.
That's not gonna do anything.
We will detach for Dweller effect. No more card effects in your grave. Yeah, it's fine. I have something else I want to do here. Then we will make...
Actually, you know, here I would like to activate Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit to pop the Dweller.
That is fine. Dweller is gone. Yeah, since it would turn off your Ghost Ogre. So I think
no.
Right.
It doesn't turn it off because it activates in my hand, not grave.
And then... do I just...
It's mostly just that so you don't get into Utopic Future, for example.
Yeah, that is also fair. Sure. I would like to banish Petrolea. Petrolea. And this Harmadic from my hand to special summon out Anunku and blow up the board.
The board? All other monsters.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm assuming you would like to count a hawk. Actually, I guess it doesn't matter because it resolves after anyway.
Double checking something.
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's over.
Yeah, it can then just swing. And there was nothing interesting in that. It was Infernity with triple Reasoning, triple Monster Gate, triple 1-for-1, and triple Sixth Sense. And in true Yu-Gi-Oh fashion, with some lovely bricking, we are at the final match. Ritual.
I'm glad I'm getting to go first at least, because depending on how your first turn goes, it's just over immediately.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there is anything like that. Deck even is explosive. It would definitely want to go first, but it's at least explosive, so you can do something. But with this deck, we will see. So
Elder.
That's a pretty good. Yeah, that's a pretty good offer. Yep.
Kanahawk.
That's
Banish Rampage. Activate, summon out Kanahawk, ulti Kanahawk.
Yep.
And then tag him out. to summon back out the Elder and the Kanahawk. Use Kanahawk effect to banish a
Oni, count how many Kanahawk
Lara.
effects in this episode.
Very many Kanahawks. Summon
Count
out
both
another
Kanahawk and all the Kanahawk.
Kanahawks, and then send back to grave Kanahawk and Elder to add a Ritual Beast card to my hand. I would like to add a Ritual Beast Steed to my hand. And then I would like to return back to the extra deck the ulti Kanahawks. Now Lara and Rampengu, activating the effect of Rampengu, banishing to the graveyard, banishing a ulti Petalfin, and then sending to the graveyard a Petalfin. Just double checking that does do that. It does in fact do that, yes. Yes. And then I would like to banish both of these to make a I can make this. It's only unaffected during combat. When it attacks, just ass. I would like to just summon out a Petalfin. And then I set. Pass.
One Steeds, and very surprising if one of them is not a Solemn. Yeah, this is the special, so... Well, I think this is definitely what we do first. I would like to attempt to activate Domain of the True Monarchs to prevent you from specialing from the extra. Yep. Then I would like to fire off a reinforcement of the army. Is this okay?
That is okay.
Yep. I will grab to my hand a Idea the Heavenly Squire.
Yep, that is okay.
Then.
Just to be sure, the tributes, the I can't summon cards from extra deck effect is only active when you have a tribute summon monster.
Yep.
Just
and have no cards in my extra deck. So if you have a way to give me cards in my
yes.
extra deck, then,
Allow me to.
then you're chilling.
Extra Foolish Burial should just be like send a card from your extra deck to your opponent's extra deck face up.
Yeah.
It cannot be summoned this duel.
Then I would like to attempt to activate Pantheism of the Monarchs.
Yeah, go for it.
Yep, we'll pitch Monarch Stormfront, draw 2. That's funny. Then the effect of Pantheism in grave.
Yep.
And this didn't, let me just check. Yeah, this didn't have anything, so I will once again put them to the zone. I think which one is better? I think we'll go for Stormfront, and
Stormforce.
yeah, fourth copy of it.
Stormforce. That's just the name of the card. Have fun. The Monarchs Stormforce.
And
Weird.
Tenacity.
Yeah, way. I mean, like, one of these gives you an extra spell in the graveyard, which is really annoying, but at the same time, it gives you one less target to search for, but at the same time, it gives you another card to use for shit. So I think I am just going to skip a step and select the Stormforth.
Yep, I will take that to my hand, and I do think it is the correct play.
Yep.
Then I would like to fire off Stead. Actually, Yeah, I would like to fire off said Stormforth.
Okay. In
And
response, I
also
will
chain
return.
Maxi.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
I'll tag that Ultipelophin.
Yep.
You get 1 for this. Double checking that this lets me summon both. A ritual beast tamer and a spiritual beast. Okay, I can't summon that with that. So some
Yep.
of these.
I will draw
Get
one for this.
Yeah. Now you get 2 tribute 1.
It is just once during this turn, so I don't need to do it now. It just once during this turn.
But you contribute 1. That's the main thing here.
Yep. Then I would like to fire off Tenacity of the Monarchs. And I will reveal in my hand this Caius the Shadow Monarch.
Yep.
To add a Monarch spell trap from my deck to my hand. And for this, we will go for... I think we'll go... Actually... Sure. We'll go for Return of the Monarchs.
Yep.
Then we will fire off said return.
Yep.
And then I would like to... Do I do this first? I don't think it matters. Tribute summon using... I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll go for Lara. And summon out Caius.
I will... You do this as soon as the video game works.
Yep. I am right there with you. Too many effects going off.
Yeah. And it shouldn't die, Caius.
Yep, that is fine. 4,000 and Caius is negated, so no return effect. And then I think there is like I don't think it's worth it. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, I will pass on that.
In the end phase, I activate Ritual Beast Steeds and chain if you don't want to chain anything to this.
Yep, that is perfect fine.
Chain Ritual Beast Ambush to special out 2 Ritual Beast / Spiritual Beast cards. I will summon out Conahawk and I will summon out the Elder. And now
I
you
will
get to
draw
draw
for
1.
Maxi.
And I get to pop both of your cards.
Yep, they are gone.
Oh, right. Now standby, main. Okay. Okay. I'll put everything into attack for now.
I think we'll just do this now. So we will immediately just Maxi.
Chaining to Maxi, I activate Ritual Beast Steeds.
Go for it.
And I summon out Elephant and Laura.
Yep.
Which does not give you the...
Yeah, I know. That's what the chaining means.
Actually, wait, do I ever want to do that? Wait, am I stupid? Wait, no. Let me just fucking take this back. You know what?
Only in addition to the Conahawk activations, Count Jeexx takes his Maxis.
You can have it. You can have it. I think I can do this without that. I think.
Go for it.
We'll see. I'll activate Conahawk.
Yep.
Banishing out a... What the fuck? Will this work out? Let me double check. This is 4, that's 3. I do not have a 3 out. That's a problem. Is Pelophin 3? No, Pelophin is 4 as well. They're all 4s. Oh. Okay. I have just Ritual Beast Ulti Pelophin there. I will banish when.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will go into. That's 2.6. 1.4. Need to do 8,000 damage, and I need to find a way and a line to actually making it so that you can't just negate my shit, negate my attacks, because you have battle faders in here most likely, which means that I have to find a way to play a card that will prevent the battle fader, which will have to be ulti Gaia Pelio, right? Yeah, monster effect as well. I will banish Kanahawk and I will banish Elder to summon out Kanahawk,
Maxi.
and then I will activate the effect of. Do I want to do that now? It doesn't really matter, does it? And I tag out Kanahawk.
Mm-hmm.
I summon Elder. I summon out Kanahawk. I activate Kanahawk.
Yep.
Banishing another Jewel Beast. I will banish Pelio. And then I will use. Yeah, I can't make that happen. That's impossible. That just doesn't work out. Use Dash.
Yep.
Summon Pelophin. Summon Laura.
Yep. Maxi.
Make Kanahawk. Actually, yeah, make Kanahawk using Kanahawk and Elder.
Yep.
Returning to the extra deck my ulti Pelophin, and returning to the graveyard my Kanahawk, and then adding to my hand a Ritual Beast card. I will add to my hand a Ritual Beast Bond, and then I will take my Ritual Beast Kanahawk, vanish it, my Pelophin, and my Laura to summon out a Gaia Pelio.
Yep. Maxi.
And then I would like to attack using Ramsingu. 1,600.
I will take it.
And then attack using Ulti Gaia Pelio.
Yep.
3,200. And then I would like to activate a Ritual Beast Bond.
Yep.
To banish my Gaia Pelio.
Summon out another one.
Summon another one and go for game.
Yep. And that'll be it.
Yeah. What the Oh, did you not buy into... Actually, you can draw one more.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. It is.
Do you not have faders?
No, I don't play faders in this one. Faders are very inconsistent. It was essentially because the deck is bricky by nature, so literally the things that I changed was the 1 Rainbow Karibo and the 3 battle faders were changed for 3 Rhoda and 3 Maxi, and then I took out the trap wall that was like you can tribute summon during your opponent's turn, and what was the last 2 changes to put Thestalos in? Actually, there are a couple more changes because in the last one I ran, it was 2 Kaios, 1 Ryza, and 1 Morbius, and now it was 1 Kaios, triple Kuraz, because obviously it triggers off being summoned by Ether, and then 1 Thestalos. But essentially, it's very much the same deck. I literally just added consistency in there, but because it's Monarchs, it didn't end up mattering. And obviously, like for this deck, like it doesn't really matter that much. Like this late, if you're just giving me a ton of draws, it was essentially the Maxi was there because the deck is obviously bricky by nature. Is hopefully get something done on your first turn and then have Maxi in your hand, and then you can do stuff with that. But obviously, like this time, I never found either or Erebus, who are the playmakers of the deck. So,
but didn't you get Ida?
No, neither one of those.
Wait, didn't you tutor for this?
Yeah,
No,
I
you
did
didn't get
have.
Eidos. Eidos.
Yeah,
Oh, you didn't get
I had
Eidos.
this. The
Eidos.
only monarchs I had in my hand was my one of Thestalos from the first Soon, and then the one of Caius. So I literally drew the two monarchs that I didn't want to see in the opener. So I mean, Monarch goes out the way it started. It just I tried so hard to make things work, but
Yeah.
sometimes things just don't fall in place. Honestly, I'm just fucking baffled that we got the full 7 games, and that's pretty neat. Although, like, the way we got there was pretty unfortunate.
Dude, the fact that you breaked 3 games in a row, and then I break 3 games in a row, and then you breaked 1 last game is fucked.
That's how it goes.
We had like one arguably even-ish game, which was the one where you got 2 Ultimate Falcons out, and that was because like I didn't have the proper means of like pushing for game before that, which is rare because that deck is like that, like the hero deck that I had, the Cosmo hero deck, is really explosive if it can just swing. Like if it just gets to swing, it can use swing per game in 1 turn. So the fact that like it didn't happen, and on top of getting rid of the Ultimate Falcon, getting rid of the second one was also like this should not be happening. This should not have been possible.
Yeah, it was essentially like Red Raptor isn't a great archetype, but it's still like it got a ton of stuff in this time frame, and like we never played it. So even though like Kaijus and Lightning were obviously here, I was like, I mean, I wanted to play it anyway, and now I can play like stuff like Allure with it. So I was like, might as well bust it out regardless. And I mean, for this one, it was just like, it's Monarch, so you need a lot of stuff. It was essentially like, okay, give me a way to get into Ether or Erebus with a way to go into Idea in hand, with which essentially just means I have how many I took out. I was also like planning on like even putting in one for one instead of Thestalos, in which case I would have had 7 copies essentially of Edea, and then like either an Erebus, obviously you can access with stuff like Return of the Monarchs, and you have ways to draw into them too, but it's still like, it's Monarchs, and it's always gonna be coming down to, can you actually draw the Monarchs, or are you drawing too many Monarchs? But it's
either you're land screwed or mana screwed, or you're land flooded.
Yeah, but I mean, this is just prep for when I'm actually going to be playing Galaxy Ice, so you guys know that no matter how good the deck is, it doesn't matter, because the deck is really good 30% of the time, and then with Galaxy Ice, the deck isn't even good, because Monarch for the time it's really good if you don't brick, but you brick most of the time, so, which in my case, I guess, is 10%. You get playable hands, and the rest is just bricks, but everybody bricks with Monarchs, but they did top a lot of events after the structure that came out. But
yeah, they were consistently showing up in tournaments and consistently like placing high because everybody was playing. It was like practically a free deck to play, so everybody was getting it.
It was really accessible because of the structure deck, and it was relatively easy to pilot. And it ultimately it came down to like you're making mostly the same lines, and the builds are like 95% similar to each other. And then after that, it's just like, okay, do you just draw your shit or not? And that is what games usually came down to. So,
like when you consider the fact that Maxi was still legal, and Maxi was a card that was like printed in a bunch of different sets at that point, like it was fairly easily accessible as well.
Mm-hmm.
It just puts it into perspective that like at this point in time, just having the Monarch structure deck plus Maxi and Allures maybe or something, not even Allures, you don't need Allures in this.
No.
Is just good enough. Like that's already like you can just go and win a local, if not even a regional with that. It's kind of crazy how powerful the structure deck made the archetype. Like I feel like it's kind of similar to Blue Eyes in some regards, where Blue Eyes got a bunch of really good support in the lead up to Worlds. I know I've shit on that a bunch of times, but like Dark Side of Dimensions and everything else that came out was pushed forward, so the Blue Eyes played at Worlds, and it turned out that the Blue Eyes stuff that got like played at Worlds is like it's perfect to counter the meta.
It kind of felt like a similar scenario where Monarchs came out. Monarchs were perfect against everything that was being played because everything was extra deck heavy and they didn't have good removal for much. Like they didn't have good main deck removal or extra deck removal, and not extra spell deck removal, without accessing their extra deck. So Monarchs could just go like, yeah, eat shit and die kit. And then after a while, Blue Eyes stuff came out, and Blue Eyes was just perfect against all the stuff that existed afterwards or even during the Monarchs era. Because I think Monarchs got hit like a little before Worlds. They might have not even been playable at Worlds. I might be mistaken.
I think Pantheism at least was limited at some point, but
Yeah.
if I had a nickel for every time that a bricky but powerful deck has been released to be relatively accessible, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it is weird that it happened twice. If you remember, I think it was the 2016 Worlds where the literal grand final, it was a mirror match between 2 Blue Eyes players and both of them bricked. That's awesome.
Wow, I'm looking at the ban list for the Blue Eyes format. This is just like, yes, we want Blue Eyes to be good guys. Please play Blue Eyes. They banned Monkey Board. They put Seer to 1. They fucking limited Ether.
Mm-hmm.
They limited Dark Destroyer, Kirin, Beatrice, E-Telly, Pantheism, Pendulum Call, Stormforth.
Stormforth
They limited
yeah,
Maxi.
because I was like, I remember 2 spells, but it was I couldn't remember if it was Domain or Pantheism, but yeah, okay, it was Stormforth.
Pantheism and Stormforth both gone.
Yeah, yeah, no, I meant I can remember. I thought it was Pantheism and Domain, but it was Pantheism and Stormforth.
I think Stormforth is a really good problem solver card because it doesn't target the same way that like Soul Exchange does, for example.
Yep.
So it's a lot stronger. And like overall, when I'm looking at the ban list from the time or the limited list from the time, it's really indicative of what was actually good in the lead up to this format, and it's kind of funny because nowadays you look at the limited list or the ban list and you're like, why the fuck is this on here?
Yeah.
And you can't like recall the explanation for it because it's been 10 years since it got banned, and then somebody's like, well, it's a card that you can just summon with instant fusion, and it summons you another body onto the field. And then somebody goes, well, why is it banned? That doesn't seem that good. And then you think back to all the innocent fusions you've seen be played, and every single time you've seen one be played, it's always been fucking Norden. And you realize that this card is banned because it's just 3 cards out of your main deck into a free extender. Like, bro, even man, it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah. But I guess for this, like it's already what 2 hours? Yeah, 2 hours 4 minutes. So we're not gonna be here for long. But I think like since it's the 100, I think we also did this last time. I think everybody knows at this point what were our like favorite sort of archetypes and decks from this time period. From this obvious stuff, like obviously Noble Knights for you, like stuff like Dragon Rulers. For me, like last time was Blackwing. But what was did you have an archetype or a deck that you got to play now that you hadn't played before that was like, oh, I actually really like this? Because I remember like Light Swarm was that for me in the first one, where like I hadn't played it before, and then played that, and he was like, oh, I really actually like this. Because for me, it was definitely Infernoids for this time. Like I did not know anything. I literally didn't know the existence of that archetype, and then when I just read the cards for the first time, I was like, oh, this sounds actually really cool, so I want to give this a spin, and ended up really actually liking it a lot. Which I guess it's funny that like both from the first anniversary and the second anniversary, like those time periods, both times the like sort of new surprise favorite archetype has been like self-mill stuff. Now when I think about it.
Yeah. But it's because like self-milling stuff is really fun to play with in general in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because like there's so many card effects that trigger off of getting milled, and there's so many synergies that you can find by just playing cards that say, I'm gonna fill my 5 cards. Like I'm gonna fill my 5 cards from the top of my deck, and I'm just gonna do that. There's no benefit to this card other than that. And then you trigger like 5 effects. That's why I would argue that, like, even though I haven't played it, that's why Tier Element seems like it could be fun to play.
Yeah.
Because it's like self-mill decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Are the same as Dredge in Magic, where it's just plays itself to a degree, and it can be really fun, especially when you in Yu-Gi-Oh get like options using Infernoids. Infernoids get so many options when they're in the graveyard and your hand and everything else.
Yeah.
And it just feels really satisfying, which I think is the makings of a really good deck. Like legitimate. I think Infernoids is one of the coolest decks that I've seen in the game.
Or you could get one of Sixth Sense, or you could get one of Monster Gate. Oh yeah, but actually, before you answer this question, I'm gonna forget otherwise. What were your 6 band cards and what were you playing them in?
So I was playing Brilliant Fusion and Brilliant Fusion and Brilliant Fusion and Brilliant Fusion and Norden and Norden.
That's
Actually, I was
awesome.
playing one Soul Charge. My bad. I was playing one Soul Charge.
So 3 and 2 and 1.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I will. What was that?
Because
Yeah, go ahead.
you know what the saddest part is?
Yeah.
I didn't draw a single fusion, and I didn't draw a single instant fusion because deck didn't have any of them. I was playing a pure Ritual Beast deck without any of the band stuff.
Yeah. For me, it was Maxi in this one. Dragon Rulers had Sixth Sense and Soul Charge. Infernoids had Sixth Sense, and then I was playing. Wait, was the? Did I have 6? I'm pretty sure I had 6. I can't recall the 6th one, but I had double Instant Fusion, double Norden in Raid Raptors. Just because it was there, it just like, okay, this just makes me 4 Strix with 1 Instant Fusion. But I was not on Brilliant Fusion, mostly because you talked about it to higher than heaven. So I was like, I think Jeexx is only gonna play like Garnet plus Brilliant Fusion and everything. So I don't think I'm gonna include that because we don't need only to see that. But it ended up being we only saw 1 Sixth Sense, which was a dud, and then a couple maxis, and that was it.
I think the fact that you managed to result 2 maxis is fucking wild. But yeah. None of the banned cards were this deck because I felt like this deck didn't need it. It was just kind of pure. It just functions as is. Like arguably, Kanahak at this point is limited, by the way. Like the actual.
It doesn't surprise me because it just
yeah.
gives you pseudo infinite value.
Yeah, it essentially like builds your entire board of Ritual Beast, Tamer, Elder, and Kanahak, and like Italy and any Ritual Beast really. It's really good. Like legitimately one of the strongest fusions I would argue that they ever printed for extensions.
For sure.
But for me, the deck that like I had always wanted to play that I never got around to playing, because of the fact that I just never got the cards for it, is Ritual Beasts. Which is why it ended up being the deck that I played as my 4th deck. Which is like why I was like, I need to figure out a deck that doesn't have Level Leader in it, because I need to have Level Leader for my synchro files. So I'm just gonna play Ritual Beasts. So yeah, this deck is I'm a fusion enjoyer. I don't know if you can tell. I might like some fusion decks here and there. So it just kind of fits my playstyle. Glad Beasts also, like Glad Beasts were really fun to play, and this has kind of that similar vibe to Glad Beasts, except for the part where it's a lot more active.
To go to battle phase. That's right.
Yeah,
it's a lot more active. It like that, but you're actually very much right. It's very similar.
And like, because Glad Beasts can't extend infinitely because you need to end your battle phase as well, so you can't like swing with something, split it, and then do it again. And that makes it feel a lot more satisfying to your plays off. And because it's also an aggro control deck, because it has Ritual Beast Steeds and stuff like Ambush, and because Steeds doesn't target, you get to activate it, and then you get to chain your stuff to control the board, and then decide how many cards you want to pop. So your opponent might let Steeds go through, and then you chain something on Steeds, and then your opponent's like, fuck, I shouldn't have done that. Now you just wipe their entire board because they let you play. So
yeah.
I think it's a really interesting deck, and also like there's some fairly cool like XYZ cards you can play in here. That I owned a couple of these. I own fucking Daigusto Phoenix, which I never got to play in anything. But you can use it with Elder. It can kind of work. You can finish a game with it essentially. And obviously Chidori is something that you don't get to play that often because it requires Winsters, and Levier is also fairly easy to summon this, and Catstall is just giga easy to summon.
Yeah. It's Ritual Beasts neat deck, definitely -1 flavor point for not actually playing rituals though. Like
I mean, their ritual is getting the fuck out of it. You know? But outside of Ritual Beasts for this era, there aren't that many decks that I like have not played or haven't tried, because this is like the era of Yu-Gi-Oh that I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh the most in. Like Ritual Beasts were a deck where I was like, I want to play this. I want to try this out at some point. But no one ever built it, so I never got to play it, and I never built it myself because I was like, it's too much of a hassle to build it.
Fair.
And I never, so it's one of the few decks from
the Pendulum era that nobody ever bothered playing. Necros too, because nobody ever got the Necros cards when they were good, because for good reason, they're giga fucking expensive. Or were giga fucking expensive at the time.
Yeah.
So nobody had that, and nobody would have been willing to actually loan it for anyone either.
Fair.
So, but I'm not a fan of Necros. Like,
Got it.
not a fan.
I like it for
I don't
the
like
flavor
rituals.
of essentially being them being just, you know, the like hidden terminal and ice barrier and overall just hidden terminal. You can't call
Hidden
them
arsenal.
retrains, but yeah, hidden terminal or hidden arsenal, like
Dual terminal
version
arsenal.
of them. Oh yeah, it's dual terminal
That's-
and hidden arsenal. Yeah, that's how it was.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
like, I like it for the flavor, but as a deck, like it's neat. Obviously very good, but you know, I don't often get to play consistent decks as we have established. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's neat to play something that you actually get
It's
to
a
play
change.
every time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Construct was banned during this. Holy shit, I forgot. It's ADHD brain. To comment on the dual terminal and hidden arsenal thing, this is also essentially a retrain of dual terminal stuff, because it's got a Gusto in it. It's got Tamer Elder. It's one of the Gusto cards.
Yay!
Yippee!
He
And
decided
then
to
there's
just go into a
Lara.
different archetype. Next time he comes out, he's gonna be in a linked
Fucking
archetype.
coffin, bro. He's gonna be fucking dead. Dude, he's like 70 or some shit in this. He was like 12 in the previous archetype, man. He's gonna die.
He's gonna be live eternally as a wizard should.
As a wizard should. I think Kanahawk is also supposed to be one of the birds. And that's like the idea that the two the two beings that start out the ritual beast thing are like the remnants of the Gustos after all the stuff that happens in like dual terminal. It's kind of cool. It's
That's
nice.
the only reason why I played Daigusto Phoenix, to carry on the legacy of
Yeah,
Gustos.
that's definitely it. Yeah, it's not here. Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna do it for us. And now, like I said, some announcements, so but a couple of them were literally just like these minor changes that I've talked about earlier. I can tell you this though, but the entire year 3, I do have roadmapped. I know changes that will be happening. We have a lot of exciting sets coming up, and the next year in the History of Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning Journey is also gonna be when we hit the point where I got into Yu-Gi-Oh! And after which, like, I've been in there, like, obviously on and off, but the release of Legendary Hero decks is when I got into Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's gonna be, I think, actually pretty close to the latter half, I'm pretty sure, but that's gonna be hitting still in the next year. And we have a lot of like the format of the series will definitely be changing a couple times in the next year, but I think all of those changes are for the best. And then when we eventually, in a year's time, which will be 2026, Jesus Christ, we're alive at that point.
Probably won't be. It might be over.
Yeah, it might be Joari at that point, is when everything changes. But that is a year from now. All I can say is I think the next year might be the most exciting time in the series thus far. And like, even like from a non-biased perspective, I think there's a lot of cool shit there. So hopefully y'all are looking forward to that. And then what the actual third announcement was going to be. This has been so much fun doing this every week with Jeexx.
Hello.
That why not limit it to, or why not? Why limit it to just Yu-Gi-Oh? And this is 100% credit to Jeexx. We're still figuring out how we actually want to do the rules and everything for it. But we will have something similar, a progression style series going through the history of something for, and I'll give you a couple seconds to think about it, for Pokemon. And we will include both singles as well as VGC. Like I said, like we're still figuring out how we actually want to do the rules, how we actually want to do the episodes. Because I feel like for something like Yu-Gi-Oh or any other card game where we take turns, obviously the back and forth like bantering like this makes more sense. But in Pokemon, where every time we both take our turns simultaneously, it makes a little less sense. So still gotta figure out stuff like that, and obviously other things as well, like how do we actually want to do it. But something like this is gonna be happening for Pokemon, and in the I think I can promise in the next like 1 to at the very least 2 months, you will see a trailer that will then serve as the series intro, which will then explain the rules and everything. And then when we get that on track, you'll obviously know about that. So hopefully that's exciting stuff. I'm very excited about that because I know like nothing about the like very early Pokemon stuff. I got into competitive battling around like Gen 6, but like super into it, not super into it, but much more into it Generation 7. So it'll be really cool exploring older formats like that. And I think that's very exciting to look forward to stuff like that. But you want to say something about that, Jeexx, since you're kind of the mastermind behind this idea?
So the reason why I was actually thinking about this was because I personally have always been interested in Pokemon, like competitive Pokemon, because I think competitive Pokemon, I think you've actually talked about it at some point, but like competitive Pokemon is essentially card games, but there's like you build a deck of cards, but the cards themselves also have different options, and they're all modular essentially.
Yeah.
It's a really cool idea of the way like of playing a competitive game like that. And I think in my mind, Pokemon Pokemon is really good. Pokemon is really fun. And there's a lot of Pokemon that I really want to possibly just try to use in a limited format because I'm a Bannet enjoyer, and I think I'm gonna be able to use Bannet in a slightly limited scuffed Gigabad format finally for the first time in my life, and I won't have
Hell
to
yeah.
sit there crying my ass off that it's the worst ghost type in the fucking world.
Yes, sir. And I mean, we've one could say that you have some history with your Twitch TV Jeexx channel as well with Pokemon, wouldn't you say?
My original the original stuff that I did on my channel, the original reason why I started actually streaming was so I could do Pokemon Nuzlocke on stream because I didn't want to do them alone. I was like, it's kind of weird to be doing Nuzlocke alone. I can't yap with anyone, and I didn't want to just hop on a Discord call and yap with folks while I was doing it. So I figured I'm just gonna put up a stream. I'm gonna chat with folks while I play Pokemon Nuzlocke.
The origin of the Jeexx Twitch channel is with Pokemon. Maybe it'll be actually something where we record them. I mean, I don't know if you would like to do that, like record it on stream, and then like I'll just be yapping on the tape, and you'll be yapping to the stream while we play. We'll figure it out. But like I said, like
I think
oh, go ahead.
I think that would be a fairly good idea because then that way because we I was thinking about the problem of logistics of doing like two different things. So
Yeah.
if we're doing Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon and we're doing them both like once a week, doing it
Yeah.
on Sunday and Monday would make the most sense because I can do all that stuff on stream, and then the rest of stream is like I can play Genshin, I can play FF14, I can play FF11, I can play another video game, and it works out better for the rest of my week, and I
Yeah.
assume the rest of yours.
Yeah, and I think for Pokemon overall, like obviously we haven't. Okay, I guess I can reveal it. If you've listened this far, then I guess you deserve it. I'm currently thinking that the way we do it to, like Jeexx said, like highlight some of the Pokemon that often don't get the spotlight. There, instead of just bringing one team in, it would maybe be a best of 3, but you need to win with 2 different teams, which I think would be pretty neat. And then
And
like
no
if it
duels.
just a max of 3 Pokemon battles, then in most formats, at least what I'm thinking of from the top of my head. But like I said, like Gen 1, I'm kind of familiar with. Gen 2 and 3, I know absolutely nothing about. Gen 4, Pokemon Pearl was my first Pokemon game ever. That's all I know about that. And that's after that, like I've been very into Pokemon. I mean, for Christ's sake, I have a tattoo of Ash's cap, which was my first tattoo ever.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of gray area where I don't know if it's just Star Wars or whatever it is, but I like to think that it's not gonna be as long. So if it's like okay, and also like explaining your two teams, I have these 6 Pokemon. This one has these moves. What am I trying to do with this team? I feel like overall, like where these episodes tend to be like usually closer to 2 hours, I think the overall length of the Pokemon episodes probably will end up being around an hour, which I think is pretty perfect. And the games themselves, I doubt any best of 3 ever like would go like over an hour. So even like if it is to be like stream content for you, it won't end up being like okay, your stream is literally just doing the stuff that we have for the series, the 2 series on my YouTube, because that would obviously be whack. So I think it would work for that as well. But like I said, like we're still figuring it out. When we'll iron out those in the next about a month or so, and then you'll know when we're kind of ready when you see the trailer / series intro. So
Oh shit. We at that point we'll have pre-recorded like 5 different episodes, and you can like splice in all the funniest moments. It'll just be a black screen.
actually, yeah, it just you hear different bits. You don't see anything, but you just hear different bits. That would be neat. But yeah, it would probably be like, you know, there are generations. Generations are very simple, and then Smogon has different formats. You have OU, obviously, Uber, stuff like that. It would probably be something with splitting and stuff like that. And like I said, like we do want to incorporate VGC into it as well. So it'll be a nice mix of singles and doubles. But like I said, we'll iron out the details, and you'll know when you know. But hopefully, this is something exciting. At least for me, like as a Pokemon head who doesn't like this is I'm not really I haven't played competitive Pokemon in ages, and for like my background with VGC is on the tail end of Sword and Shield. Thanks to Wolfie VGC, I got into it. So that's like what my competitive enjoyment has been of Pokemon. I'll be honest, not a fan of Scarlet and Violet. I do not like terrestrialization as a generational mechanic, so I haven't played any competitive battling or VGC in Scarlet and Violet, but the game was fun to play through. But still, like something like this and getting to do this with Jeexx would, I think, is gonna be a lot of fun. So at least I'm very much excited for it.
I mean, considering that I suggested this, I would say that yeah, I too am excited.
Hell yeah, bro! Somebody came up with a banger idea.
Dude, that guy that came up with this idea was really smart. Like holy shit.
Yep.
Really handsome too.
I'm sure. And really good at fighting games, and definitely wouldn't choke in offline tournaments.
Yeah, that guy definitely would never choke.
No, but for real. What do you have to say to the people after 100 episodes of the History You Are Learning Journey, Jeexx?
So the intro to this series talks about how Weebfox is like embarking on a journey to learn Yu-Gi-Oh with somebody who actually knows a lot about card games and stuff. And over the course of these last 100 episodes, I've been thinking to myself, is that even true? Is that even accurate? Like, what the fuck?
Hey, a good no, how was it to say? I was gonna say a good lie has some truth in it, but no, there is a saying about truth and lie and having something in it. You figure it out yourself.
Yeah, okay. But like I do feel like that over the course of this series, I have kind of not reignited my enjoyment of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I obviously fell off the game quite some time ago at this point, or like 5 years ago. I just kind of stopped caring, and I have not paid attention to anything. But over the course of actually building decks for 2 years now, it's sort of given me more context for things that are actually happening in the TCG, and I've been paying a bit more content about the TCG itself, especially to like historic content where people are discussing older formats, which is honestly, that's probably the best kind of Yu-Gi-Oh content there is, because current Yu-Gi-Oh kind of is not interesting. Like current Yu-Gi-Oh has some interesting archetypes in it, but for the most part, the play patterns don't seem interesting to like look or watch or listen to.
Yeah.
Decision making is an entirely different thing. Decision making in modern Yu-Gi-Oh is insane at this point. It's like a properly layered mind game, which is really cool. I think that's really fun, and I think in a way this series has also allowed me to properly enjoy the mind games, especially because the close format has like brought with it like, does he have this? Like as long as we're both aware of the stuff that is in this, and we've brought
Yeah,
it
I
to
mean,
the attention.
I never would forget anything that exists.
Yeah. There's a 2,000 defense wall. What the fuck? Okay, yeah, sure. But, or like Harpy's Feather Duster in this. Every single deck that I felt like was weak to back row, I just got like
Pot of
2 to
Greed
3
like
copies
2 episodes
of Duster.
ago. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can sit here listing these things for 20 minutes.
I'll make sure to from now on actually tell you that just to make sure you know this is in the set. This is in the set.
I mean,
And so
it's
that we
fine.
both have a
If
balanced deck.
I miss things, then I miss things, and I think it's funny in its own way. But like you talking about tooting your own horn. No, I'll 100% toot our own horn. I think we fucking
sure.
cook with the format and this series. Like I genuinely
Oh, yeah.
think like how we've done it is genuinely a interesting and good way, and how it's like then escalated obviously and it changed over time, I think has been kind of like a natural change and a natural progression to the the way the series works. And I think like it's served a purpose for moving the series forward and making it more interesting without dumbing down on the elements that actually make a series like this interesting. So I think we've done a great job with it, and I've definitely had a very good time. I have things that I'm looking at on my other monitor, and I can see like stuff that will be rules changes coming with sets in the third year of the History Yu-Gi-Oh learning journey. So it's exciting stuff, and I think it'll be make things even more interesting. Definitely a little different, but I think in a good way.
Awesome. I think the format is probably the like it's the most restrictive thing that we have for the series at the moment, but at the same time it's like that's what breeds like situations where I'm playing a piece of shit card that's in the set because I need to play it right now, and I'm afraid how the series will change once we get to the point where like modern deck building rules kick in and we get a lot more leeway. I'm kind of worried about how that will eventually like start warping the game, and if it will still stay as enjoyable and as fun, but we'll see. I think like Cloudy, a friend of mine, obviously, during one of the streams, he was just like, "Dude, that is such a fun way of building decks." Like, I think he agrees. Like, one of the people that I have played Yu-Gi-Oh with, like for over a decade, like 15 years at this point, like a decade, I guess. He thinks that building a deck using what is essentially like a wordplay thing, like the Japanese game of Shiritori. It's where
I
you try
don't
to
think
like
so.
I essentially try to like when you say a word and then the next person has to start the next word with the final like syllable of that word,
Oh, yeah.
and
Okay,
you
so I
cannot add
didn't
an
know
N.
the name, but I have definitely heard of this. Got
Yeah,
it.
it feels like kind of similar to that where we're building decks out of just random words and random assortments of words and be like, how do I get this? Can I get this? Is it possible? And I think it's a really fascinating way of paying attention to other cards. Like even if you don't go like, okay, I can't play this right now, but you might be reading a really weird card that you have access to that you can remember for the future, and then you can put it in your deck in the future if you think it's a good fit.
Yeah, it is definitely like sick. Like for example, finding something like I'm playing Infernoid. I would love to have Monster Gate in my deck, but it's not in the set. But there is some card that nobody has ever seen that's like Gate of the Worthy, not an actual thing, but like something that would be, for example, like it could be something like that, and you're just like, oh, I'll just throw one of this in just so I can get to this like super powerful card in my deck that I otherwise wouldn't have access to. And I definitely agree on that. And I think like that's gonna be the one thing that like even when we move towards like modernizing the series in a way, like I want to keep there like some limitations there always in place because I think it just makes deck building more interesting.
Yeah.
Overall.
Restriction breeds creativity.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
limitation breeds creativity. That's the saying.
And then at some point, if it ends up being like, all right, let's just now we just essentially like, all right, what's the latest topping YCS Fiendsmith Snake Eyes list? Okay, this.
Rise.
All right, I'm gonna. Oh yeah, now it's Riziola and Malice. Then
Yeah.
now,
Wow, I love replacement effects, guys. Aren't replacement effects the coolest? That's the part that grinds my gears the most about modern decks. Like they just keep going further and further into direction where it's like this is not the card game that I know.
Yeah, but we'll figure out what happens there. I can assure you that I think the health of the game is changing with the changes that we're making, but the like essentially the deck building remains still the same. The some of the restrictions definitely change a little bit, but I think the way we're changing the stipulations to everything is changing in a way that makes it more interesting and gives you how would I word it? Gives you more creative freedom while still limiting it to just not being like, all right, so I'm just doing this, and I can just the whole card pool and world is my oyster, and you still need to find the cool stuff. And I think like that's the spirit, and that's in a way like I think that's what makes this whole thing work and makes the wheels turn in a way that keeps it interesting. So we'll try to maintain that as we move forward. But I feel like I'm rambling at this point, so I think we can call it there. Any last words you want to say before we get out of here?
Let me think. I have played Heroes 19 times over the course of this series. I have played Noble Knights, I think 5 to 7 times. I'm not entirely sure about that count right now. It will be more.
Okay,
Stay
actually,
tuned.
you know what I think is interesting?
Yeah.
Throw out a number right now. In the next 50 episodes, how many times will you play Heroes? And we'll come back to this in Anniversary 3 because we will definitely remember to come back to this and see how close that is. How many times will Heroes be played in the next year of the History Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning Journey? Jeexx? Go.
Total or just for the...
For that, so you can ignore the 19 times up until now. Like, how many times will you in the next 50 episodes, sorry, 49, we're not counting Danny, how many times in the next 49 episodes will you be playing Heroes? You don't need to go.
At least 12. At least 12.
That's a lot.
That's probably like I'm counting every single time that I'm gonna be putting a hero into the deck.
Yeah, I mean that is fair.
Every single time that I would just be like, I'm gonna put Shadow Mist and a hero lives in here so that I have Mask Change too, so I can go into Dark Claw whenever I want, or play whatever else hero happens to be viable. Like if there happens to be a line that can let me do that. That kind of thing.
Nice. I also think
that-
that finally the next 5 years, 50
5 years.
episodes and 1 year is finally when we get access to Photo and Vanisher, so I can play more Galaxy Eyes, baby, and maybe get to actually do something except like spend my entire hand to put a single Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon on the board. That would be neat.
We're gonna be eating good.
Hell yeah. And
Hell yeah.
speaking of eating good, final thing before I bid you, the dear viewers, adieu is time to do the inactivity. That's perfect, honestly. But episode 101, the first episode of the third arc of the arc 3 of the History Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning Journey is going to be in the movie realm. It is the Dark Side of Dimensions movie pack. There are enough new cards in there that I felt like it was interesting to do, and we're gonna be seeing that next week. But that is that for the announcements. Hopefully you're as excited as we are for the Pokemon Learning Journey. We're probably not gonna call it that. I'll figure out something else. But
to be fair,
Yep.
calling it something journey, something like Pokemon something journey makes sense.
Oh, it is definitely gonna be a journey or an adventure or something. Like one of those two, like absolutely. And
like that's the Pokemon naming scheme too. So
yeah, exactly. So obviously we need to stick to the theme. So it fits for a Pokemon, it fits for us. So I think that's absolutely perfect. But that's happening sometime. I think I'll just throw out like 3 to 6 weeks. Hope from you seeing this, you should be seeing something about that. So look forward to that. And other than that, thank you so very much for 100 episodes of sticking with us, because that is honestly crazy. With my consistency with anything, it is crazy to think that we managed to get here. But thank you, Jeexx, for motivating and being a fun person to do this with, to get me actually to be excited for this every single Monday, to join you and play some Yu-Gi-Oh. So here is to, I was gonna say 100 more, but I
That would be a lot. That would require us to get so much more product in like the next year that we can do another 50 after the next 50.
Yeah, I mean,
because I don't think that's happening.
well,
right?
No, that would be revealing too much. Because I said like I have the next year roadmap. I do not want to say on tape where it ends. I mean, you can go count that, I guess, because you at this point people know how basically like what sets we're included in this, so you can count. But there's still we still have stuff to do and see for sure. I'll tell you off record, but I won't spoil it here. But here's to at least another year of the History of Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning journey. And thank you so very much for watching not only this episode and the series. And we will see you next week for the Dark Side of Dimensions movie pack. So, as always, thank you so very much for watching. Stay awesome, y'all. And we'll see you next week. Peace.